This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
All right.
This is the Big O Show.
It is time to rock and roll. Yes, sir.
This is the Big O Show.
As we always do every Thursday out here at Toyota of Hollywood, 1841 North State Road 7. We'll be out here for a couple of hours, having some fun, talking sports, life, COVID, you name it. We're all over the place. Do we go COVID? Do you find yourself saying COVID and then Corona another time? You kind of like spread the love, even though that thing's got nothing but hate for us? Huh?
I even labeling some of the segments. I do COVID-19 sometimes. I do Corona.
Right?
I don't go full coronavirus. That is gone.
Right. Okay. All right. Corona, COVID.
And when you go with the Corona, hopefully you got a nice big cooler with ice, some limes, a knife, and ready to go.
The question I have for you is, how long does it take for somebody to show up to a sporting event whenever we get back to normal again, and they have a jersey that says 19, and then the name will be COVID? I'm just saying. It's going to happen.
I don't like it.
I know.
I don't like it.
But it's going to happen, right? It's going to
There's
happen.
always some clown
Right? Somebody's going to do it.
jerk. Yeah.
Somebody's going to have a jersey that's 19, and then the name will be COVID. And they're going to go, oh, come on, dude. Really? Seriously? Come on.
That's about the time that I hope there's a whole bunch of people with packets of mustard and ketchup and do like that Buffalo thing they do before the game and just squeak. There you go, pal.
Heave City. Kind of like what we felt when we were in Dolphin jackets in what's it called, at Bill Stadium, which was, what was it, Rich Stadium back in those days? I think it was called.
Yeah, Rich
Right?
Stadium was Buffalo. Yep.
Yeah, Rich Stadium. The wife and I, although she was my girlfriend then, and so this was close to 30 years ago. It was the playoff game against the Bills.
Obviously not the AFC Championship.
No,
that
was
here. Yeah, I
That
know.
was here,
I know.
actually.
That's
Oh, yeah.
why we.
Yeah.
That's why we went crazy and put an extra. I think it was 125 each.
Yeah.
Brought it up to like 500 for the two of us. That's
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah, this was a long, long time ago, man.
This is prior to that one because I think that was the last
I
one.
want to say Don Beebe broke his leg in that game.
Ooh. Now my question about Beebe.
Might have been. If I remember correctly.
Was it Beebe or Tasker that had the little
Tasker
attachment? had the attachment.
yes,
The
Tasker,
little
yes.
cap on his
yes,
helmet.
Yes, Tasker. Because if I'm correct, Tasker was the guy that covered and returned, whereas Beebe was only a returner.
Tasker, yeah, he was a
Right?
jack of all trades.
Right,
He,
so I
plug
think
him in. Crash Jensen. Crash Jensen for us.
That's why he had double helmets on it. I remember that. Yeah, he looked like the Great Gazoo.
You know what's weird?
That's what he reminded me of, the Great
Great
Gazoo.
Gazoo.
If we just turn his, paint it green and then, just help teach him to fly, yeah, he would have been the Great Gazoo.
If you think about it, how early that was, with all the head injuries and stuff like that this guy was doing this.
Yeah.
And the fact that nobody else ever followed him.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He was
was
a one of a kind.
Yeah, he was ahead of his time, pun intended and everything. 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. Like I said, we're out here at Toyota of Hollywood. I got a beautiful Supra right next to me here. got a large selection of cars. So if your lease is running out and you're going, where do I go? My lease is running out. I need a vehicle. You come here to 1841 North State Road 7. That's what you do. Now, if your car is breaking down, it's a money pit, you come here to 1841 North State Road 7. Okay? Maybe, your car's a little too old at this point. And you got some time on your hands. Later on, in a couple of months, you won't have the time. You don't. It takes a couple of hours. You can do that here, too. Plus, they're going to give you 90 days, no payments. So that will help you in the transition here, which we all know is not going to be an easy one as it is. All right, so we got a ton of things to talk about, which is amazing to me that somehow or another we still have some stuff to talk about every single day here on the show.
Can I say something, man? That amazing thing is done. You've been doing it now for a freaking month. So the amazing part of this, we've grown to expect it out of you now.
Well, I mean,
okay? I'm just being honest.
I know, but we're gonna run out of gas someday. But I will say this, and it's 6 days a week because I'm doing Sirius too. You know what I mean?
You
every
have been,
Saturday.
yeah, every Saturday.
So, and we're on again this Saturday, 8 to 11, on Sirius Mad Dog Radio. But when we talk about all this stuff that we've got going on, I will say this. Think about this, folks, and I'm looking forward to it because I'm kind of holding back on some stuff because I'm waiting for the week that we have leading up to the draft and then obviously the week after the draft too, because the Friday will be great because we'll be talking about the picks on Thursday, you know what I mean? And then we'll get ready for the Friday draft again. But then on Monday and the rest of the week, we're going to kind of talk about the draft and how it worked out. And then we have the street free agents that are undrafted right after the draft, right after Saturday. So Sunday, they'll start signing those guys. So we'll have a lot of material coming up. So for me, and it's not something, but it's just kind of finishing this week off, finishing next week off, and then the week after that, starting the draft coverage and,
So you're looking at that like
heavy
real material, like real sport, constant.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
No, I mean, we bring real material every day.
Right,
we give people insights that they don't get anywhere else.
What I meant to say was from start to finish.
Yes.
Some really meaty stuff.
Yes, exactly. It becomes really meaty. So we just got to hang in there, and have a little patience. And everything's going to work out. You know what I'm saying?
Before we get too far, it just hit me. On this street free agent thing, is there a, you got to wait till this time or blah, or is it last pick?
The end of
boom,
the draft.
It, bing, start, go.
Yeah, I think
and
it's
first come, first serve.
Yeah, I think it's midnight or something right after the draft ends or something. You can, the next day starts, you can start calling them, or right after the draft, you could start making phone calls.
That guy makes the last pick and everybody scrambles.
You're late in the night working and making those phone calls already.
I always thought about that, and it's because everything else, there's a start, a time. What's the deal with street free? I do know that it's first come, first serve.
That's why the Kevin Colbert thing that I talked about yesterday, I love that. Because to me, that showed panic out of Kevin Colbert. Oh, no. We need 3 more draft picks. Why, dude? You can't count on your own scouting to do your job within the top 7, and then with everybody else, you fight for your free agents. What's wrong?
I guess
why are you panicking, bro?
They only worked 254. That's it.
Yeah.
They did work on 254 guys. They didn't go to 400.
Yeah. So, like I said yesterday, I like our Dolphin front office. I think our Dolphin front office is going to just absolutely kick freaking ass when this draft rolls around. I mean, they've been doing it for the last year. So to me, this is nothing new, and I'm just looking forward to 2 weeks from now. It's today, man. Today, 2 weeks from now, it's going to be Christmas 2 weeks from now. For us sports fans, especially football fans, that's Christmas, man. I mean, we all work hard to provide gifts for our kids and stuff like that, nephews, cousins, whatever it is, kids that are in your family one way or another, right? Maybe your loved one, maybe your wife or something like that. You want to make something special. But for us guys and us girls out there that love the football out there, because I know we got some ladies out there that listen to the show and they love football, our Christmas is 2 weeks from now. That's our Christmas. You know, like the free agency was like Thanksgiving. It was a Thanksgiving meal. You go out, you shop for the meal, you cook it. You had to spend a lot of time on it, right? To kind of put it together. This is different. These are gifts, and now it's what you do with these gifts. And so this is we're going to find out what we're going to unwrap at number 5, what we're going to unwrap at number 18, at number 26, and so on and so forth. And I can't wait for that. So 2 weeks, baby. 2 weeks. And that week leading into the draft, we're going to make it as special as possible for you guys here on the show, with a lot of info, a lot of good interviews and insight as we get you ready for the draft. So I'm really looking forward to it, man. 786-322-1105 on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. You can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Ran out of Fiji at home, dude. Gotta bring Zephyr Hills. Damn.
Hey, man, that's not bad water.
No, it's
Come
not.
on.
It's not. It's not Dasani. But yeah, no, you're right. Zephyr Hills.
I think Dasani's what, Fort Lauderdale water
I don't know,
run through a filter.
But it's like when you taste that water, and when people tell me there's no difference, no, man, don't. I don't know, dude. Maybe your taste buds are screwed up, but there is a difference. And you taste it. You know what I mean? It's just one of those deals. But it's crazy stuff. Now, Michael Lombardi. Let's get into a little talk here. Michael Lombardi from the GM Shuffle podcast. He made a very interesting report. And Michael, obviously former GM, he's obviously still hooked up in the league. And so he got some information on Tua. And I can't say that any of this information is surprising. And I don't think any of you out there should look at this as surprising news. This should happen. This is something that, was kind of predictable as it is, because it comes with the territory, unfortunately. But Michael Lombardi talked about Tua's health state. And how I guess he disagrees with the propaganda that's coming out of the Tua camp and Laura Rutledge. Go ahead.
One team that said, listen, this guy is not kosher. He is not up to speed. He is not ready to go. What do you think they saw? I mean, obviously, he's coming off a serious injury here, but that's got to get around them. If you can, at least one team failed the physical on Tua, others have to be concerned now as well.
What they saw, AD, is they saw the fact that there's more than just one. It's not just his hip. It's his ankle. It's his wrist. He broke his wrist the first day of spring ball one year. And then they fixed it and he came back and he re-broke it again. I mean, he's brittle. He is brittle. You can't deny it. You can say he's a really good player, right? But it's easy for Mel and Todd and everybody else to turn the card in and say he's a good player because they don't look at this list of bust in front of them. They don't look at the Mark Sanchez's, the Josh Freedmans, the Jamarcus Russells, the Brady Quinns, the Jason Campbells, the J.P. Losmans. They don't look at these names. They all were hot picks. I mean, I can remember J.P. Losman was represented by Gary Wishart, who Mel Kiper was very close to. They were talking about J.P. Losman like he was going to be the next coming of Jesus Christ. I mean, and we all make mistakes. Look, I'm not disputing the evaluation. I'm saying that if you're picking a quarterback, it's really hard to pick a good one. It's even harder with the guy who can't stay healthy. That's my point. So, yeah, two teams I've talked to have flunked them. They flunked him on not just the hip, on the multitude of injuries. Like the risk far outweighs the reward.
It's crazy.
There's Michael Lombardi talking about all the injuries, adding the wrist injury that he broke and then re-injured it again. And these are the reasons why I wouldn't draft him at 5. Now, I completely understand if they take him at 5. like I talked about before, you got 13 other picks. If you take him at 5, then you've got to be monstrous in the next 13. Because, see, if you draft Tua, even if you're a Tua fan out there, okay, what I want to remind you is you have to prepare yourself that he's going to be a failure. Okay? I mean, more often than not, whatever quarterback you draft is going to fail. It's more than 50%. Okay? It's probably somewhere in the 80 percentile, 75 percentile that you normally miss on a quarterback. Doesn't matter where you draft him. Okay? Because it's really hard to figure out if a guy's going to make the transition. But you know what's really easy to figure out? A guy that's injury prone. And so that's why if they draft Tua at 5, I won't be ripping the organization. I'll get it. I'll understand. They've got 13 other picks. They're going to take a chance because if he stays healthy, he's got a chance to be a pretty damn good quarterback. Problem is, it's impossible for him to stay healthy. Think about all the injuries he's had in 2 years. 2 blown ankles, 2 blown wrists, and then you got the hip. And then there's a couple of other things he's had too. But, you know, he had that knee injury right before the hip. I got banged up. He had a finger injury also. He's had several injuries, even smaller, but the bottom line is he's fragile. He's absolutely fragile. And for those of you that are worried about, you know, when he says that a couple people failed the physical, remember he had the physical that was done by the Tennessee Titans specialist, that he's a hip specialist. He's one of the best in the country. So every team had a word, like their team doctors had conversation. Whoever was interested in Tua probably called that doctor before, and they talked about what are you going to check? Hey, make sure you check this, that, whatever. And so then they get the same report, right? And then their physicians, whoever they are, failed them. So apparently Lombardi got 2 teams in the NFL that out of that physical with the Titans physician for the league, because they couldn't have 32 guys check him out because that would be unhealthy to do that because you'd put somebody at risk. You put all kinds of people at risk. So they chose one guy, and he did it for the entire NFL. So when he files his report, all those other teams that saw it, the other 31 that saw it, apparently, according to Lombardi, 2 of them already failed him on those physicals. Now, there's a couple questions I have to ask, and he didn't fill us in on that. And maybe he didn't want to also because he wants to protect the source, which I completely understand. Anybody that's been in this business, you've had to do that over and over again. The question is, the 2 that failed him, were they teams that had quarterbacks or were they teams that needed quarterbacks? Because desperation changes your answer. You know what I mean? If you don't really need a quarterback and you see all those injuries, we failed him. We're not taking a quarterback anyways, but we would fail him in our book. Because you're not going to be a little bit more open to it. And so if 2 out of 32, the question is, how many others have failed him that haven't talked to Lombardi? And by the way, Lombardi gains nothing and loses nothing by reporting this. He's reporting the facts. Hey, look, all you get right now is the propaganda from the Tua and Steinberg camp right now, which, by the way, Lee Steinberg doing an awesome job because he's selling the hell out of his client, and that's what he's supposed to do. But we have to be objective here. All you're getting is propaganda from one end, and they're feeding one reporter on ESPN, Laura Rutledge, and all they do is feed her the positive stuff. They're not saying anything negative. They're not really talking about what really happened in the workout. They don't post the entire workout without any editing or anything so people can see, right? So it's all been one agenda the entire time, right? And the Laura Rutledge woman, which again, listen, I'm not picking on her to say she's terrible. In fact, I think she's fantastic. I think she does an excellent job. I think she does a great job delivering the news. I think she's got presence, all that stuff. She's a pro, man. Okay, but she is just, spewing the propaganda from the camp. There's no objectivity whatsoever.
She's using this for down the road. She's in with the camp, so she'll get inside information.
Right,
she's the Tua insider now.
Now, if she was there at the workout with somebody else and said, well, hey, he had a good workout, but he struggled in this area. The deep ball didn't have as much, cheese on it and whatever.
As soon as he got running the drill, he kind of, you could see him favoring the hip.
Yeah, exactly. Something. Tell me. There's no way that everything Tua's doing is beautiful. It's roses. It's a unicorn. It's a rainbow. It's utopia. No, I'm sorry. I'm just not believing that.
All those muscles have sat since November, right? Yeah. You're going to have a little ache.
Yeah. So the fact is, all you're getting is one angle of the story. Well, this is what I like about the Michael Lombardi story. It gives us another angle. It gives us another opinion, and I got to tell you, it gives us an opinion that makes a lot of sense. Right? Oh, no, Tua's healthy. Tua's ready to go. What's he ready to do, bro? Ready to throw a couple balls for you in practice? He's not ready to play football. He won't be ready to play football for a long time. What moron is going to put that kid out there in August to take any kind of hits in a preseason or in September? I mean, if your organization does that, you should fire everybody. General manager, the owner should sell the team. The coach needs to he needs to be put in a home. He needs to be put in a rubber room inside a straitjacket. An injury-prone play. No, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Tua is an extremely injury-prone player. Okay? Yatil Green was injury-prone. This guy's extremely injury-prone. Because Yatil Green wasn't blowing out shoulders and was out for a year or hips or even knees. It was always tweak hamstring, tweak ankle, high ankle sprain, pulled hammy. It was those kind of things, but constantly. Like all the time. Because Yatil was a thoroughbred. You ever seen a thoroughbred? Do you know the difference? Do you know the difference between a thoroughbred and a quarter horse?
Specifically, no, but there is a.
Well, the quarter horse has legs that are like tree trunks. The thoroughbred,
they're thick, yeah.
The thoroughbred has little thin legs, if you notice.
They're made to run as opposed to like plow and pull.
Exactly.
Strength.
Exactly. And so a quarter horse, you can get on a quarter horse and go ride for miles and have some fun. You're not doing that with a thoroughbred.
Yeah, that's quick burst.
They're very fragile.
They don't run hundreds. They run hundreds.
You have to treat them with kid gloves compared to a quarter horse. Right? So because you go thoroughbred, you go quarter horse, and then you go what's the one for the Budweiser?
Oh, Clydesdales.
Then you go Clydesdales.
Here, back in the day,
bigger, stronger, and all that.
Back in the day, the badass that did even the hurdles 440. Edwin Moses going to 4. He's not Insane Bolt.
Right.
Insane is a quick burst. Boom.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing. The Clydesdales are bigger, stronger, and all. By the way, just as an analogy, okay, in college football, Tua's been getting hit by quarter horses. He's about to get hit by Clydesdales. I'm just saying. Okay? The injury-prone player is moving up from quarter horses to Clydesdales. Okay? Just saying. Because when college players move to the NFL and they're there for 3-4 more years, that body's fully developed. That mind is fully developed. You now got old man strength in football. You're a Clydesdale. I'm just saying. Okay? So what I like about what Lombardi's doing is he's providing the other side. And I remember when I went to the Combine one year and Ken Dorsey was coming out. And, you know, I took a lot of heat from Canes fans in those days. Because, again, you know, the fan is short for fanatic. And a lot of you fanatics, you don't want to be objective. You don't want to be sensible, right? So we were at the Combine, and I was leading up to the Combine. I kept telling everybody Ken Dorsey can't play in the NFL. You know, and Ken Dorsey is one of the greatest college quarterbacks of all time.
He only lost one game.
Okay? But so is Robbie Bosco. That doesn't mean anything in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? And I just lost about 95% of you that aren't old, because you got to be old to know who Robbie Bosco is. But my point is that when you look at, you know, this scenario here, that you see the truth. And on that day, one of those days at the Combine, we had a GM come. And they were asking him about all kinds of players because he was inside the workouts. And so they asked him about Ken Dorsey. And he came out and said, yeah, he can't play in this league. He just physically, which is what I kept saying to everybody and the blind-ass Canes fans out there, you know, because they're all, oh, no, the Dolphins should draft him. You know, Ken Dorsey's a winner and this and that. And it's like, bro, I know he's a winner. I know he's awesome. I know his mind is made for the NFL. But unfortunately, there's a dude up there that gives us all a skill set, and he did not give Ken Dorsey the skill set to play in the NFL. He gave him the skill set to coach in the NFL, to teach quarterbacks to play in the NFL and the CFL and college football and high school, because Ken Dorsey is intelligent enough and can communicate with people, and he could be one hell of a coach. I have no problem with that. Okay? He's as cerebral as it gets. I'm good with that. But he can't play. And my Lord, did I have these battles with, you know, fans calling the station and all that and, you know, whatever. It's not like they ever called me back and said, you know, I want to apologize because I said you were crazy, you're an idiot about Ken Dorsey, and it was just me being, you know, a fan or whatever. You know, but that's fine. It's normal. But what I wanted was, what I provided was context to the whole thing, you know, and balance, really, about it, because we had an imbalance in town. We had all these crazed maniac fans that love the Canes and love the Dolphins, and, you know, they feel like, you know, a Canes player can't do any wrong. And, you know, a Canes player is the same as any other university. You're going to have players that are good enough for the NFL and plenty of them that aren't good enough for the NFL. And Ken Dorsey was one of those. And Tua, there's no doubt that he can physically play in the league. The question is, can he physically hold up in this league? And he has proven over and over and over again that he can't physically hold up in college football with quarter horses. Now, how's he going to hold up in the NFL with Clydesdales? So, while I'm open to drafting him at 5, I've kind of been open from the get-go because I've said, okay, if you do that, take another quarterback later. Haven't I said that? But then I've kind of come around with, all right, you want to take him at 5, go ahead and take him at 5. You just better knock it out in the next 13. Okay? But what I want out of this Michael Lombardi report for you guys is I want you to look at it the way you should. Okay? Even if you're a Tua person. Okay? Any ladies out there want Tua for the Dolphins, any guys out there want Tua for the Dolphins, I want you to train yourself this way, okay? This way you're not disappointed. This way you kind of, you can be pleasantly surprised, but you won't be disappointed. Are you ready? I want you to expect Tua to break down and fail. Don't go thinking that they're going to draft him and he's going to stay healthy and he's going to be durable and he's going to be everything that he's never been. So that way, if by miracles he stays healthy, it's a pleasant surprise. But if he breaks down, that's what he is. Don't be surprised. Don't be disappointed. Don't be pissed off. Just pray that the other 13 picks in this draft end up on the right side and you end up with at least 6 or 7 of those 13 making an impact on this team. That's all. And if Tua hits, icing on the cake. But if they take Herbert over Tua, you're going to know why. You're going to know that the Dolphins also feel he's a sack of injuries and he can't be trusted. We're going with Herbert. Maybe we can fix him mentally and mature him and he can be a leader, but we know he's durable, he's physical, he's got an arm, he's athletic. We can work with all of that. We can't work with fragile. You can't do anything about fragile. I'm sorry. Bill, did they add force fields yet to the game?
No, and there is no full body armor, Kevlar suit thing. You know,
I wouldn't even trust that.
You're out there.
He gets hit on the suit. He's still
rattling around inside.
Yeah. I wouldn't even put that. He needs a force field, and I don't think they allow that. You know what I mean? Now you could use it when you were playing Phoenix. And they were coming down at you, you'd hit it, and you know, that it saved you.
Oh, that ball that went around you,
That's right, in Phoenix. You know, you could get away with it. Again.
That was a great game.
If you're young, you won't get that analogy. But Tua can't play Phoenix, can't stay healthy, and now he's facing Clydesdales. Let's take a break. We'll come back with more right here from Toyota of Hollywood.
Will reimburse payments up to a total of $1,800 based on purchase and MSRP on approved credit on select models. Excludes tax, tag, title, and includes $8.99 dealer fee. Offer ends 5/4/20. Toyota of Hollywood is open, and we're here to serve you. The safety of our customers and associates is our top priority. Toyota of Hollywood is following strict guidelines, including social distancing and keeping our facilities clean and sanitized. Buy with 0 down, 0% APR financing, and we'll make your payments till 2021. Pay up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 2019 pre-owned Camry LE, not $27,000, $16,775. 2020 pre-owned Corolla LE, not $22,000, $13,775. Shop and save at our 400,000 square foot dealership at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2019 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
We're back. Coming to you live from Toyota of Hollywood, 1841 North State Road 7. Come on out here. I see Steve Ostrov out there, ready to sell you or lease you a vehicle. And don't forget, they give you 90 days, no payments right now to make that transition a little easier, because I know we're all going through a tough time right now. And so come on out. And if you are coming out here in the next couple of hours, make sure you come by and say hi, within distance, of course. Keep your distance, because that's what we got to do, which, by the way, we are starting to flatten the curve a little bit. I know in New York they're not. They had their highest death rate yesterday. I mean, every day they top it. Every day they're dying for the day where it starts to go down instead, because, I mean, it's 800 people died yesterday.
But there is encouraging. There's a lack of people coming in with new cases.
Yes, because
so
as we trap everybody inside their homes,
right,
the people that are sick are the last people that are going to come out of those homes.
That's the boat stopping in the inertia continuing.
Right.
You got to wait for the motion to stop.
We got to wait for that whole cycle to end. You know what I mean?
But
because
the people walking in the door to the hospital looking for assistance, testing positive, that has started to curve.
Starting to slow down.
It started.
Yeah.
Now, dude, and they keep saying, you cannot, this is, like, we need to stay the course. There's nothing to celebrate.
No.
We have to maintain.
Dude, 800 people died in New York yesterday.
Yeah,
of course,
man.
there's nothing to celebrate.
Exactly.
I mean, give me a break. It was our highest death rate of this whole thing. The death rate's gone up every day across the country. The total death rate every day goes up. But the good thing is we're starting to flatten the curve in certain places. And so that's because we're all stuck in our homes. And if we do this for a little while more, we'll cipher out all the people that sadly have COVID so they can get treatment, and then we can all move on. You know what I mean?
The other reality, I saw that it's like 200 nations now in the world have been affected.
Yeah.
And I looked at the United States. Of our 50, there's only 10 that are still under 1,000. Like 40 of the 50 have over 1,000 cases.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Although, you know what's really trippy? Have you guys noticed this? Monroe County and Broward County have half or less than half of the positive COVID cases than Dade, yet Monroe and Broward have a higher death rate. Did you know that? Yesterday, I think I looked at it. We were at 50 in Dade. Monroe County was like at 54, and Broward was like at 60 or 62. And yet they had half or less of the positive cases. How crazy! That's why
the only thing I could correlate
nobody
it is
can predict this thing.
It's older people and more younger people in Dade getting it. You know what I mean? So there's more
African Americans. Obviously, are being extremely affected by COVID-19. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. All right, let me do a little roll call here. What we got, because we got plenty of people watching, and we thank you all for watching. As always, DraftKings FanDuel is in. Call of Duty 1 says, "What's up, Bo? I got my results from COVID test. I came back negative." You know, we're all dying to take a test. Right? Aren't you dying to take it? I'm dying to take a test. Like I think most of us that have been stuck in home now for a month, we shouldn't have it, right? I mean, you would figure if you're stuck at home for 3-4 weeks that something would happen, and if you had it, it would come out already.
Well, if you're doing the right thing, you hope the right things happen to you, and come up negative.
But even if you don't have anything and you feel good, like I do, like Bill does, whatever, like most of you out there, you're still dying to take the test. You're still dying to find out because you just don't want. You'd rather find out that you're not walking around with it. You'd rather find out that, okay, I don't have it and I'm good.
This asymptom thing that they keep talking, there's so many of those, yeah. And it's like, you're a guy walking around with it. You don't know. You don't want to spread it, but you don't even know you're doing it.
I'll tell you, man. FinFan70 says, "Good morning, all, for some fun time." Thank you, FinFan. Miami, Florida slums and news says, "Big O Belichick." I don't know why. What's that Big O Belichick? I don't understand. What did I do? Let's see what else. Lewis Jones says, "What's up, O? I'm ready for the draft." We all are. The Great Fear says, "Didn't Kelso also have the double helmet?" You know what? I'm not sure. if Kelso also had it. Look it up. Look it up on Google and see if you get it. That's a good one. I'm not sure. You might be right. Nico says, good morning. Mike Pellegrino says, no one's buying cars again. 90MF Comics says, yo, Big O, Chad the intern reporting in. Yes, sir. By the way, John Rouse. Where the hell is John Rouse? He has not chimed in a while. Anybody know Rouse out there? Is he all right? Because he has not chimed in.
That's so not like him.
Yeah, no, he's in every day. Now that I noticed that I'm saying, a little roll call here, I'm used to seeing him. The Great Fear says, you spoiled us. Oh, I only have one goal in life right now. Don't die before the draft. Sad but true. You'll be here, my brother. You'll be here to enjoy with us in 2 weeks, and you'll be here to enjoy a Super Bowl with the rest of the Dolphin Nation.
Let's not just start, talk about the startup. Let's talk about like some of the
Super
finished
Bowl, baby.
product. Yes.
Super Bowl. The Flamingo says, hey, Big O, I feel that drafting 2 at 5, then using our other first to move up and get Willis from Bama is smart. Thoughts? I just don't want to trade away my first-round picks, my brother. I'd rather take the fishnet approach. You got all those first-rounders, all those second-rounders. Use them, man. The more people you draft, the more chances you have to hit on players. And can you imagine if you hit on a lot of those players? Do you know how quickly the Dolphins will turn around? And if you put all your eggs in one basket, you trade a bunch of picks to get one guy. What about if that guy fails? You know what I mean? So I'd rather take them all instead of just try to, package them. Now, like I've said before, the latter picks, like the 3 5th-rounders, you want to get 2 of those to move into a 4th round or use 2 of those and a 4th rounder to get into a 3rd, go ahead. I'm good with that. But my 1st, 2nd, and 3rds, I want to use them, man. Those of you that have followed me, my philosophies are that in the first 3 rounds, you got to find starters, man. That's what those rounds are there. 4 to 7, you're throwing darts. But if you're a good GM, you need to hit in those first 3 rounds. You got to find some gems. And they have several picks. Let's find some gems. The big news for the draft is Tua failed 2 physicals. Yes, we know that. Andre V, hey, Big O, from Faro, Portugal. Every time hearing your show, great content. Thank you, Andre V. Go Gators is in the house. NorCal says, I sure hope our Finns don't take Tua. Arsene the 305, what it do, he says. Let's see. What else do we have? Josh says, what up, Big O and Bill? You guys are staying safe. And on draft day, have you guys chose where you guys will be hosting it? Not yet. We have not. And remember, some cities, there's a curfew. Well, we have a curfew at 10. So, yeah, we have a curfew. Now, we're media, so we might be able to,
finagle.
Just a little bit. Yeah.
We're special.
Well, I don't know about that. You are, not me.
No, I'm just saying, we're not under the status of everybody else because of the media thing.
Luis Vasquez says, top of the morning from Corona. Big O, another day, and it's encouraging to see everyone taking precautions. That's fantastic. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Luis Aguila says, hey, Big O, do you endorse any of the QBs in the draft? I haven't been able to watch you in a bit. Sorry if I missed your comments on this already. Well, Luis, you can go back. There's all kinds of segments on YouTube, on our YouTube page, and on Instagram. I'm not Instagram, I'm sorry, on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, SoundCloud. So, yes, there are guys that I do endorse, and all those segments are there, and I break it all down. We'll do all of that in another week and a half where we'll get into it. But Burrow would be the guy that I would endorse. I don't endorse Tua, but I understand taking him at 5. I understand the gamble. And Miami with 13 other picks, I don't mind them taking that gamble, but I do expect it to fail, by the way, okay? And then there's some later guys that I like in this draft, but go listen to those podcasts and or watch them. You'll get all of that. Let's see. We don't want to draft the next Sam Bradford. Just load up. OT, safety, DL, center, any 5, any order. Okay. Hard to argue with that. Really, William. I have no problem building up the lines, man. Mickey Collazo says, with the Lombardi report and the rumors about our Dolphins strongly pushing to trade for that number 1 pick, the bad interview they had with Tua makes me believe the Dolphins are one of those teams. First of all, Mickey, they may call Cincinnati. They're not going to make that trade because Cincinnati's not going to make that trade. And I got to tell you something. It's not a smart move to give up 3 first-round picks or like Peter King says, 4 first-round picks for a one-year wonder. I cannot do that, bro. I cannot do that. That doesn't make any sense for – if you had the number 1 pick, then you take Burrow and you take the chance. But from 5, you're going to trade all those first-round picks to get him? I find that stupid. I just think that's ridiculous. And one-year wonders like what? Like Mark Sanchez? Like Baker Mayfield? Like J.P. Losman? You want that? One-year wonders like Mitchell Trubisky? One-year wonders are very, very, very dangerous. And they're very dangerous when they're on loaded teams. If they've been doing it for a couple of years, that's a whole different ballgame. But he didn't play the year before that. He didn't play well. And he didn't play well at Ohio State. And so maybe it was just Brady just setting up the perfect offense for the kid. You know, Derek Anderson had a magical year for the Browns one year. They gave him a big-ass contract, and he never did it again. You got to be careful with that. It's funny to me how people get enamored and in love with this situation right away, and yet they don't look at the big picture. It's like there's no track record. It's just 1 year. How are you sure that everything didn't just go his way that 1 year? I would never trade that many picks to get up to that for that guy. Miami Kid says Michael Lombardi said that Drew Brees was done after the shoulder injury too. Well, that's most people, bro. Most people didn't want him after the shoulder injury. So what are you going to do? That's everybody pretty much. The Saints took him. Look, let's call it like we see it, okay? 2 bad football programs wanted Drew Brees at that time. When he was a free agent, coming out of San Diego, New Orleans and Miami, I mean, Miami's still nothing. We're going to get there now with these guys. But at that time, Miami was garbage. And so was New Orleans. It wasn't the elite teams weren't interested in Drew Brees, my man. You know, that's, you know what? That's the game I see every day in politics with Democrats and Republicans. That they have no objectivity. They just look at their side and slam the other. And they refuse to be open about, hey, one side might be right about one thing. They might be wrong about something else, but how about giving them credit for this one thing? No, I can't. I'm on the other side of the fence. Most everybody didn't want Drew Brees after the shoulder injury. Okay? That's such selective, crap to throw out. Convenience. George says, wait, I heard you say in the past you wouldn't take him. Then recently you said you would. No. I wouldn't take him. I would not draft him at all. Okay? But I endorse it. I'm good with it. I understand taking the chance. And I've kind of been open to it because you've got 13 other picks that you got to hit on. And you need to be a monster in those 13 other picks. And you want to take the chance in the quarterback, go ahead. But your ass is on the line now. Now you've got to have a great draft. That's all. Listen, if you draft Tua, I expect him to fail. I expect him to break down. That's what he is. That's what he's been his entire life. Let's see. What's up here? What else do we have? New stuff. No new stuff. No new stuff. Play Action 7's chiming in. What else do we have here? A lot of stuff going back and forth. All right. Well, we got some of the Roca. Damn, dude. It's a lot of Roca. I can't go through all of them. Frank Rivero says, Big O, I'm turning 30 in August. All I want to do is celebrate a Super Bowl win with my old man. Can you realistically see this current team winning it all in the next 10 years? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I really believe that our Dolphins are going to be one of the elite teams in the next couple of years. I think we're going to get back to that point. It's not going to happen overnight, but I think we definitely will get there. Doris Sheehan says, how about half-a-year wonders like Johnny Manziel? It happens all the time. All the time. Now, Manziel, I don't think was taken early, right? Manziel was taken later in the first round, if I'm correct. Was he an early? No, he wasn't an early pick, right? He was a later pick in the first round. But again, it's a great point. It's a great point that he's another guy that a lot of hype and, proved nothing whatsoever. That's why it's kind of crazy. And look, we've had this conversation before, ladies and gentlemen. You watch what Tennessee did this year, okay? And you don't need a great quarterback to get to the playoffs. You don't even need a great quarterback to advance in the playoffs. Why? Because if you got a strong defense and a strong offense, right, and good coaching, your quarterback only has to facilitate so you can get by. And if you look at the last 20 years in football, okay, just the last 20 years, think about this. I've mentioned this before. Last 20 years, you had Tampa Bay winning a title with Brad Johnson, who's a pretty good quarterback, better than most of the other guys I'm going to talk about, but still, average at best, okay? Then you had the Ravens also winning a Super Bowl, and they won it with Trent Dilfer. You saw last year Ryan Tannehill get to the AFC Championship game, games where he threw 70 yards and they advanced. Peyton Manning won a Super Bowl, and he couldn't throw the ball past 10 yards. It's happened over time, over the last 20 years, that there have been teams that make it to the playoffs, and they don't have great quarterbacking. I mean, hell, the Dolphins made it to the playoffs one year at 10-6. They didn't have a good quarterback either. Their team was just good enough to get into the playoffs, but it wasn't like great quarterbacking.
We didn't even have our quarterback. Remember, Moore started the game because Tannehill was hurt.
Right. But either way, it wasn't a great quarterback. But you can actually go deep into the playoffs if you have a great team. And now you want to win the Super Bowl, you probably need that quarterback more often than not. Your team has to be so dominant in order to win that Super Bowl. And yes, you could do it like the Broncos did it, like the Bucs did it, like the Ravens did it. And over the last 20 years, there's other examples. But my point is, that's why you don't want to just, now that you've set yourself up with all these picks, it's not about giving up all these picks to get a guy that more often than not you're going to fail. Just look at the quarterbacks. You know what I should do at the top of the hour? We should go over the NFL draft history, like in the last 10 years, and you look at the quarterbacks taken in the first round, and I bet you in the last 10 years, most of them are probably failures. You know that? Most of them are probably failures.
Well, if it's anything like Todd McShay's thing that came out a couple weeks ago that we saw, that was 1 out of 10. And those were the top guys rated going into the draft, and that's the last 5 years. That's 10%.
Yeah.
That's half the Mendoza line. Okay?
Well,
think about that.
Look, the number one overall picks since 2000, okay, and at quarterback, ready? Michael Vick, David Carr, Carson Palmer, Eli Manning, Alex Smith, Matt Stafford, Jamarcus Russell, Sam Bradford, Cam Newton, Andrew Luck, Jameis Winston, Jared Goff, Baker Mayfield, and Kyler Murray. 14 quarterbacks have been taken number 1 overall since 2000. So far, Baker Mayfield, bust. So far. Jared Goff, probably a bust. Jameis Winston, bust. Andrew Luck was a success. Even though he retired early, that kind of sucks. Cam Newton was a success. Sam Bradford, bust. Matt Stafford hasn't won anything, but he's not a bad quarterback. So we'll keep it there. Jamarcus Russell, Alex Smith, David Carr. I mean, Michael Vick, he's number 1 overall. He didn't play like a number 1 overall. 8 of them. 8 of your 14 quarterbacks were failures. That's more than half.
I had 3 okay, and then I gave a half to Vic and a half to Stafford. So you got 4.
Yeah. Because Vic, to me, never really became a real quarterback. He was just an athlete running around with the ball in his
Look, he
hands.
had that 1 year where he went on that run in Philly.
With Philly, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because 1 year Andy Reid reached him a little, and it was 62% throwing. It was like,
here and another.
Wasn't even anything
He's got
elite.
some nice highlight reels.
Yeah, no.
And, top 10 plays of the day. And
like I've said, great athletes will make plays. Doesn't matter who they are. But even if you're a playing quarterback and you're a great athlete, that's why you're a great athlete. You will make plays, but it doesn't mean
the
you
overtime run against
consistently.
Minnesota, that was like up there with Steve Young.
Right.
Tripping over the end zone.
Bottom line
falling
is
in.
he's not a number 1 overall pick because that's supposed to be a franchise player. He's not a franchise player. So there you go. And by the way, I did not see any John Rouse now. Now I'm worried. Now I'm worried that he may be battling COVID.
Oh, man.
Yeah, because if we don't see him,
because this is not like him to be out of the loop here for even a couple days.
Never. If anybody connects with John Rouse, make sure you have him reach out to us because we haven't seen him. So that's not good. Man, he visits us at different spots where not that I want him out there now, stay home, but I do want him part of the family. That's for damn sure.
Well, he is. He is part of it.
I know, but I mean, like right now. Dougie Fresh says, please, everybody subscribe. Less than 10 subscribers. Well, actually, I think we're like 3 or 4 away from 2,000. So we're almost there. Get the folks to subscribe out there. Make sure you give us the thumbs up, the likes, okay? And share the link.
In other words,
folks.
Go create an email.
Oh, man. All right, let's tell you a little bit about Moody S Dental. Call them, man, 305-821-0231. You got cavities. You're in pain right now. Let's get you out of pain. Call them, 305-821-0231. Implants, Invisaligns, you name it, they do it. State-of-the-art equipment. And, again, a family-run atmosphere. You're going to love it. Spotless. The place is amazing. It's immaculate, as Jim Morrison would say. That's why you got to get on down there. 305-821-0231. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Go to the website, moodySdental.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
Will reimburse payments up to a total of $1,800 based on purchase and MSRP on approved credit on select models. Excludes tax, tag, title, and includes $8.99 dealer fee. Offer ends 5/4/20. Toyota of Hollywood is open, and we're here to serve you. The safety of our customers and associates is our top priority. Toyota of Hollywood is following strict guidelines, including social distancing and keeping our facilities clean and sanitized. Buy with zero down, 0% APR financing, and we'll make your payments till 2021. Pay up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 2019 pre-owned Camry LE, not $27,000, $16,775. 2020 pre-owned Corolla LE, not $22,000, $13,775. Shop and save at our 400,000 square foot dealership at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2019 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
All righty. Hour number 2 of the program. You know, I could tell that things are changing, right? I don't know if, did you notice that there was no 6 p.m. and no 11 o'clock Sports Center last night?
You know what? I did. Because I was up and I was doing my follow.
Did that like freak you out?
Yeah, because I'm
like,
looking.
I'm sitting there going, well, wait a minute. I come up with 3 hours of talk every single day. You guys can't come up with a half hour, an hour of Sports Center?
Yeah, they actually, the Heat game. The Heat game was what was on.
Yeah, I saw.
And it ran into Scott Van Pelt.
You know, I was channel surfing, and I ran into the Heat game at 28.5 seconds left, down by 5.
Oh, no kidding. That's a good spot.
That's a great spot. So I watched them tie it, and then I left. I didn't watch the overtime.
That was
that's the only replay I've watched so far. Seriously, that's the only thing I watched. And in the yesterday at 6 o'clock, they've got like the Masters on from like 1980 something.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up.
And I'm like boring.
No, but you know what the thing is? I was sitting at my girlfriend's house at the time because I was up in Stewart.
That Masters.
I was up in Stewart.
Okay.
And we're all sitting there, and the thing was, routine was, I would go over there, we would hang out, we'd do the pool, blah, maybe go out on the boat. Then everybody would get changed and stuff. She had 2 brothers in a huge house. And then we would all go to church together. And we were there, and it's like watching Jack run them down and everything. And it was like, no, we're going to go. And our parents are like, you better not be late for church. You better not be late for church and stuff. And we ended up having to leave and go to church. I never got to see the ending.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so, yeah, 34 years later, I get to see how Greg puts it over to the right into the crowd way deep, and that's why Jack won.
Well, the shark choked?
The shark, dude.
Really?
He gets a birdie.
The shark choked.
Right, surprise, exactly.
The shark choked.
Yeah.
I would never. But I got to tell you something. Boring. I'm like, wow, that's what you guys got on? Come on, man.
I got
some
to
Sports Center.
For me, because I could put myself there, and I remember sitting there. We're watching, and her parents are like, okay, let's go. And I'm looking at and her brothers, and it's like, dude, we'll drive ourselves. Go ahead, we'll meet you over there. And your mother like, you better not be late.
Can't watch replays. And replays of golf, oh, my God. Oh, my God. Please, tie me down, stick bamboos in my nails. Please. My Lord. I saw that yesterday and was like, wow, life is changing, dude. ESPN can't even put a Sports Center together. John Rouse in the house. See you guys soon. Just been working. Maybe you can have a few of your best listeners at the draft with you. I doubt that, John. I mean, I don't know yet.
Everybody will have to bring their yardstick and do that 6 feet away thing.
Well, no, it's also that business may not want to get in trouble, too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't have a group.
Yeah, you can't have any groups.
You don't want to be like that mayor's wife, going to the bar and getting everybody in trouble.
Yeah. So, but I'm trying to see if I can team up with a sports bar restaurant type that is doing a lot of takeout. And then maybe we can, do the shows from there, that kind of stuff.
The only problem, and I didn't even think about it until you said it last segment, there's a curfew, and this is at night.
Yeah.
We're not going to get out of there by 10 o'clock.
Right.
I mean, and along those lines, maybe we could do it at the house, okay, and do like we had talked about and pop in and pop out.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to have to kind of sneak away and show it.
But you can't do that because then you got to go home too.
No, but I'm media. And it's the draft. And if you're a Dolphin fan, I could talk to the game, man. You know how important the draft is to us. We're just trying to create happiness for all the fish fans.
You're lucky you run into the cop that hates sports.
Oh, that would be. Hey,
that'll
get some money. I need to get bail.
That's it. But John, thank you for chiming in, my brother. I'm glad you're good.
Thank you. And hey,
see if a regular radio show on actually connects with their listeners and their fans and their friends like we do.
In the future, John,
it doesn't exist, bro.
In the future, John, you're not allowed to go more than 2 or 3 days without chiming in. So we know you're all right. All right.
Yeah.
Or actually, that applies to all of you guys that are regulars.
Yeah. Because
y'all better chime in, man.
Once I start reading your stuff every day and reading those names, and then you're gone. Look, if you don't like me and you don't like the show and you're gone, that's fine. But when I see the guys like John that I know like the show and are part of the show and they disappear, it was like, oh, wait a minute, not good. And in today's world, I don't want any of you guys to disappear. You know what I'm saying? I want everybody healthy out there.
Look, and if you don't like still chime in and just say, hey, I still hate you, and then you can leave again.
Yeah, you're right. But I tell you, yesterday was a different day, dude. I tuned in at 6 o'clock, and there was no Sports Center. I was like, wow. And then I see and then at 11 o'clock at night, there's no Sports Center again. I said, oh, doggy. Man, and by the way, Jeff Passan, brother, get a real book stand in the back. Come on. Jeff Passan is one of the best MLB insiders on the planet.
Hold on.
He does an awesome job. And my man does his stand-up, and it's a bookcase in the back it's a drape, it's a whatever that's called, a canvas. That it's just a painted-on books thing.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought I saw that there was a Dark Side of the Moon in there.
Yes, it's all painted on.
Oh.
Pay attention to it. You'll see. Everybody else has got regular
I was ready to
bookcases.
defend the guy because he's got Dark Side of the Moon up
there. Oh, no,
there.
it's great. He's got Dark Side of the Moon.
Course,
I mean,
of
yes.
course.
It's got another album there, too, that's actually pretty good, too, that I liked. But I'm looking at it, I'm going, dude, that's a fake background. Come on, Jeff Passan. Let's go. Listen, if you're going to do these live shots, you got to raise your game, dude. You got to have some behind you. Although I will say this, I feel bad for John Morales because we now know every crack and crevice of his house. My man has done the weather from every part of his house. He does have a killer backyard. Love his backyard. Love his backyard. Oh, excellent. And the living room is really cool too, John, just so you'll know. But it's got to be interesting for these local people, right? Because it's like they've got to find a new angle. And you've got some smart-ass producer sitting in the studio saying, hey, can you find another spot in the house? Because we don't want you doing it from the same place every time. And it's like, hey, man, this is my house. It's my privacy. I got to be sharing all this with you and everybody else? The sports people, they just sit behind, or shall I say, in front of their book stand. Those that have a book stand. I mean, Jeff Passan, brother, spend a couple dollars, Get a book stand that, is real. I see that. I'm looking at it going, that's a fake-ass book stand, dude. Come on. You got to step it up and get it done. Don't forget, folks, to give us the thumbs up while you're watching the broadcast and The share button, the little arrow, grab that share button, send it to a friend on text, post it on Twitter, on Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, whatever. Tell them so everybody knows to come on over and enjoy and have some fun with all of us out here. Jameis Winston. Very interesting with Jameis Winston. He was being interviewed, and he was asked about being replaced by Tom Brady. And as you all know, Jameis Winston is still a free agent out there. So he is looking for work and looking for a team to give the guy that threw 30 interceptions an opportunity. Right now, it doesn't look like there's a starting spot available, at least for now. We'll find out after the draft, after everything settles. I would imagine that's when Jameis might be able to find a home somewhere and battle for a spot, a starting spot. So Jameis was asked about Tom Brady replacing him, and I want you to listen to this because I find it hilarious and I find it very selective on his part, the way he phrases things. Go ahead, Bill.
Well, one thing you can learn about me is my faith. I have a tremendous faith in my Lord. And one thing about Tom Brady is it's understood that he is the GOAT. For you to get replaced by Tom Brady in a city that you love so much, I guess that's kudos to me. But at the end of the day, it's a competitive sport. We all in the business. So I'm excited for whatever opportunity it may hold. And eventually I'm going to have to play the Tom Brady's, the Patrick Mahomes, and all the other great quarterbacks eventually. So that's how you win Super Bowls, and that's what I want.
And, for him to say kudos to me that Tom Brady replaced me, no, my brother, no. You were plan C. Bruce Arians said that if he couldn't get Tom Brady, they were going to get Teddy Bridgewater. So, Jameis, last time I checked, Teddy Bridgewater isn't the GOAT in anything. Maybe a human being. I'll go with that. I can give Teddy the GOAT as human being because he's as perfect as it gets. Great, great, great man. No doubt about that. But as a quarterback, please. He's a jag at quarterback. There's nothing special about Teddy Bridgewater at quarterback except I guess he won't turn it over much.
He's not balling?
Yeah, no, he's definitely not balling. He just he doesn't have the ability to ball at this level because he's just not that gifted.
There's cornerbacks and safeties all over the league dying for Jameis to get back in the league.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. That's 30 gifts that's out there. Yeah. Yeah. So
it's the pick six, baby.
But I love how he has this selective memory of, kudos to me that Tom Brady replaced me. The GOAT, it took the GOAT to replace me. My man, they had somebody else in line to replace you also if the GOAT didn't take the job. I wish Jameis the best, and he deserves a second chance. Okay? He's too talented to give up on him right now. I get it. Most of us probably feel the same way that, he's probably going to be a knucklehead from here on out and turn over the ball 30 times or 20 times a year or whatever. But there's a chance he figures it out. And even the Dolphins, somebody should give him a chance, man. Maybe the Dolphins, if they don't find their quarterback at 5, maybe they sign Jameis after the draft. Who knows? Maybe that's what the Dolphins are waiting for. If they don't get what they want in the draft, then they bring in Jameis Winston. You never know. Somebody's going to bring in the guy. He's like I said before, he's a top 10 quarterback talent in this league. Not top 10 quarterback player, but talent. I don't even think there's 7 quarterbacks more talented than him in the NFL. I really don't. But obviously we know he's got a major problem that he's got to fix. But listen, however he wants to convince himself about Tom Brady replacing him, if it makes him feel better about himself, go for it, man.
Couple things, man. Give him a little bit of a pass. He is in a honeymoon stage. He just got, so he's like all happy and walking around on a cloud, so he's got that big smile on his face. Mm-hmm. His wife must be happy they're in the honeymoon stage.
Right.
And this is kind of an advantage if we do go move there, because it's kind of like a product that has a shelf life because it's fresh. The longer he sits out there, the more he gets devalued.
Oh yeah.
The less he's going to cost you.
Yeah.
So
that's another. That's why it's worth taking the gamble, because he can't ask for big money, because nobody's going to bring him in as a starter.
And it's all
they're going to tell him, Jameis, we're not bringing you in as a starter. We can't pay you starter money because you have to battle for a starting job.
Here's the incentive package to get you to that number, but
he will be signing a prove-it contract.
What do you think those numbers would look like,
if he and his agent are smart? He's signing like a $15 million deal.
Really? That like not even 12?
10 is a backup. So you figure he's a little stronger than a backup.
So you kick him 15 and go 7 or 8 million in incentives, get him to 22,
yeah,
23.
If he plays, exactly.
Game starts, blah, touchdown, interception ratio, completion, all that.
He's going to cost you a little more than a backup that is 7 to 10 million, but he's not going to cost you starters money in the 20s. So you'll probably be somewhere in the mid-teens. And then you take a chance, and that's it. And,
I like,
but it'll be a 1-year deal. I would imagine
you're not locked in for.
Well, no. If he's smart and his agent is smart, they don't do what Devontae Parker did and his agent. Devontae Parker took a 2-year deal with the Dolphins because he was so injury prone that he wanted a little security with that. So he blows up in that 1 year, and then instead of risking playing that second year and injuring himself again, he then signs a long-term contract for 4 years, but it's also at a bargain rate. So that way Miami, if they're taking the gamble, they can get out of the deal if he's injury-prone. If he's healthy enough, he'll make good money, but he won't make the kind of money that he's supposed to make as a number one guy. So it's a win-win for the Dolphins either way. They're not committed that they can't get out of the deal. They can easily get out of it. And again, very smart in the way they structure, but they use their leverage against him. If you're Jameis, you've already been devalued. You now don't have leverage at all. So the only way you will gain leverage again is by signing a 1-year prove-it contract, and you go out there and you ball. You really ball. And if you do that, then you're going to have 10 teams, including the one you're playing for, waiting to give you money. And even the one you're playing for could tag you. And now you're getting a tag of $30 million. So at least you're making money. So that's the way I would look at it if I'm Jameis. We'll find out if he and his agent are smart and they do what I say and sign a 1-year deal.
It totally makes sense. And like you pointed out in the past, man, him and Fitzpatrick worked together before.
Yes.
Fitz was at Tampa. Everything says do this, right?
I mean, try it.
You got nothing to lose. You're not giving up anything.
And you have all the cap space, so you can just try it for a year. It doesn't work. You move on. But again, I think the Dolphins won't even think about Winston until after the draft. And when they figure out in the draft that they didn't get what they wanted, then they'll go after Winston. But at 5, they could have Tua, they could have Herbert. You don't know. And again, you know what I was thinking about? I was thinking about this because I told you guys that you take Tua at 5 for the hell of it, right? And you still have the other 13 picks. As risky as it is, as injury-prone as he is, but if you think about it, I could use the same reasoning with Justin Herbert. I'm not a Tua believer because of his injuries. I'm certainly not a Herbert believer, and it has nothing to do with injuries. It has to do with mentally him. I don't know if he can lead men, and I don't know if he can handle a locker room like that and the pressures and all that. He seems like a mama's boy at times, you know? So I'm not a big fan of either guy, but I'm for drafting either guy now at 5. I am. You know, the way I've talked with a couple people, and the feeling is that the tackles will stretch out, and there'll be one for them at 18. So if they're going to do that, then okay, just kick ass in the rest of that draft. Roll the dice on the quarterbacks. You know, if you hit on Tua and he stays healthy, great. If you're able to make Herbert a little more mature, then fantastic for you. You know, what the hell?
You'd rather have Herbert than Love?
No, I can't take Love at 5.
No?
No. I saw too many games this year, man. I saw too many bad decisions, and I just, again, we've talked about this before too. I need to see my quarterback in chaos play well at times. I get it's chaos. I get it's pressure. I get you're gonna get tackled a lot. You're gonna get sacked a lot. I get you're under duress. I get all of that, but I need you to perform well. I can't see you suck all the time every time there was pressure. And Jordan Love did a lot of bad things this year. A lot of stuff that, what happens in the NFL, there's going to be, that's one of the things that, and I always go back to this kid because it's a nice reference point over the last 10 years, and that's Ryan Tannehill. And when chaos ensues and you things are breaking down, Ryan Tannehill's not going to rise above it. He never has. If you block it perfect and you're dominating the run and you need a couple throws by him, he can make those. He's productive enough and he is competent enough to do that. But like you saw in the playoffs, they advanced a couple weeks with him throwing 70, 80 yards, whatever it was, 150 in 2 weeks or some crap like that.
70-some in the first and then 115 in the second.
It was ridiculous. He barely threw anything, right? And they advanced. But then when you got to the AFC Championship game and they took Derrick Henry out of the damn game and he could not run anymore and then he had to elevate, he couldn't. And that's who he is. And so Jordan Love, I worry that he might have a little bit of that with him, that he doesn't have the moxie to overcome disastrous situations. I'm not asking you as a quarterback that you're pressured all the time and you still have to make plays and win every time. No. But I need to see you make some plays. I need to see you rise above certain times. I need to see you elevate people around you and win in key moments. Josh Allen, I've mentioned this before. You saw in the playoff game, he ran one in for he had that long run, and then he caught that touchdown. Remember? And then the second half, when they limited all the gimmicks, and then they forced him to have to beat him with his arm, he couldn't do it. He was inaccurate. He was lost. He was out of rhythm. Why? Because he's not that guy. Yeah, he's the athlete. He can run around and do the things that he can, as an athlete, and he's going to wow you at times because Josh Allen will make some throws. Ryan Tannehill will make some throws. Michael Vick will make some throws. Lamar Jackson will make some throws. Why? Because they're all athletes. Jordan Love will make some throws. But can you be an every down quarterback? No. I got to run a certain type of offense for them. And if I'm not successful running the offense, they're not successful. Lamar was the same way last year. You stopped the run. They limited it. He could not pass his way out of it. And he did hit on a couple in that game early on, and then after, couldn't do much.
Because they're talking about Love has the biggest ceiling potential.
Yes, he does have. He's super talented. Super talented.
Along those lines, considering
that's why I take him at 18.
Considering all these guys are a risk, if you're going to take a risk, why not take the risk with the guy that has the biggest potential gain?
Okay.
Is my point.
That makes a lot of sense.
You know what I mean?
I can't argue with that.
If we're taking a risk anyway, why not see the biggest reward?
Yeah. No.
We're going to do it. Okay. and you're not dealing with the head case thing of Herbert. That's
Right.
that's
No,
the
I got
one
it.
thing that
I got it.
you keep, because I was all about
Well,
maybe if he gets away from home and being
because
protected.
Love will make plays that you were like, wow, wow.
Like
wow.
not like there's a handful of guys on the whole planet that can do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love can do those things.
I just
It's just but then again, it's like Jameis. He can do the wow play, and then he can do the
How many times is this guy going to beat up? We're supposed to be beating them up, and he's beating us up. Come on, man.
Right. And that's the problem. Adrian Gonzalez says, I can't imagine Winston will throw 30 picks going forward. If he's under close supervision and proper coaching, he can cut the INTs way down. I actually feel Flores and company are a good fit for him. Adrian, you do know that the guy that coached him last year knows quarterbacks, right? Like everything you're describing is Bruce Arians. You make it sound like Bruce Arians is Adam Gase or something. Bruce Arians can coach, dude. He knows quarterbacks. The Dolphins should fix the offensive line in the first round and draft Hurst later. That's what JMac 19801 says. Dean G says Winston is not a high character person. There you go. And RC goes, Hurst can't throw in a hurry, bro. I'm not a Jalen Hurts guy. I don't think I wouldn't draft Jalen Hurts in the first 3 rounds. I think Jalen Hurts is a gimmick quarterback more than anything else. I don't think he has any kind of starting ability. I think if you start him, you're screwed. Joe Miller says Jalen Hurts over Herb and Love. Yeah, well, there's another Jalen Hurts guy. Ugh. Jalen Hurts, I definitely don't buy him, man.
So
at all.
Let's do the math
Not
here.
even close.
Okay. We draft one of the risks, right? There's one. Obviously, we have Rosen and Fitz already, so we got 3.
Right.
Then we have to book in because we're taking a risk and take the project guy. That's 4. Then, let's take a shot at Winston. So we start camp with 5 quarterbacks.
Hey,
Thank God they boosted the roster to 55, bro.
The good thing is, if you really look at it, ladies and gentlemen, the positive of all of this is Miami has options, okay? They're not going to take Joe Burrow because he's number 1. He's going to the Bengals. That's locked and loaded already. You can forget about that. But everything else is kind of on the table for Miami. And so they look, the smart thing is what some of you have said, and I've said it for a while now, build up the team. Build up the lines, man. Build up the O-line. Build up the D-line. Make it nasty. And if your quarterback happens to fall to you at 5, at 18, at 39, whatever it is, whenever you want to take him, if you want to take the Morgan kid from FIU as a project later on in the 4th rounds, take him. The Davidson kid out of Princeton, you want to take him in the 4th rounds, go. Do it. 4th, 5th rounds, you can probably take those guys. Nate Stanley, another guy that's going to go late in the draft from Iowa. I like him too. I like Anthony Gordon. He doesn't have the wicked arm that a Jordan Love has or Herbert or something like that, but it's a strong enough arm. It's a lot like Tua, and the kid's crafty back there. He's another guy out of Washington State that I don't mind taking a mid-round gamble on too. There's a couple guys in this draft that, project guys. And we've talked about this before. You want to take Love, you want to take Herbert at 5, go ahead. It's a gamble. You just better make sure you knock it out of the park with the rest of that draft. Now, if you want to go the more secured approach, I don't call it conservative, I call it secure, where you got to bet. Load up the team, man. Load it up in the front on the front lines. That's how you win in this league. That's why the Niners were dominant. That's why the Titans were dominant. You got to win up front, man. You do that, and Kansas City, once they got their their big-ass D lineman Chris Jones healthy, they were a different team because that guy was disrupting stuff. Man, that guy is a wall.
Think about this, though.
Holy crap.
Like you said, another factor that puts it, let's worry about getting the team right. Quarterback will come. Unlike any other time in NFL history, how many quarterbacks do we see out there on free agency and moving? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there are guys that are coming up. We talked about Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
That we don't need to go just crazy and get that quarterback this year. There is options, and I'm thinking about it, man. The free agent market, the way quarterbacks have moved, it's unlike any other time in NFL history. We should be able to get a guy, be it this year or next year.
Tyrone Sanders says, Big O, J. Love needs time on the bench behind Fitz. Learn the system under B-Flow as he will be the best QB. You might be right, Tyrone. I mean, I really like him, but I just can't take him at 5 because of all the wacky-ass decisions and throws he made this year. And I just can't give you the excuse, well, he lost his coach, he's lost his team, and, he had to go out there and carry the team. Well, but do a better job. I watched Eli Manning play with nobody at Ole Miss. Literally nobody. And he actually had a decent season. And he was in the SEC, by the way. Okay? What's Utah State in? Mountain West or something?
Yeah, they're not
something like that.
They're the Mountain.
Yeah, so you're not in a Power 5 conference, right? Or is that no? It's not a Power 5, right?
No.
Because they're not in a Pac-12 or anything like. So think about that. Eli Manning played with nobodies on Ole Miss.
Eli
coming
coming out,
decent football, man.
We expected him to be better than Peyton.
Right.
We did.
Yeah, in a way, yes. Well, because Peyton had
the Florida Gators lost.
Yeah, that label and all that. That was unfair. But, yeah. But it's just one of those deals. But I'm just saying that I like Love, but I like him where he should be, and that's in the middle to late first round because he's too much of a project. But Tyrone, I can't argue with you about his talent because I've seen this before. We all have. You've seen the Jamarcus Russell. He did go number 1, but, man, he was gifted. And it's a shame that he didn't have the work ethic, but it wasn't because he didn't have the Lord blessed him with great ability. And the Lord has blessed Jordan Love with great ability. But, again, how many guys do you see with great ability and they can't put it together? You know what I mean? Harold Miner had great ability, had no way of putting it together. Hell, more talented than Harold Miner, the Heat's first year, they had a guy by the name of Sylvester Gray.
Wow.
Okay.
Second team All-ACC as a freshman, right?
Yeah, Memphis. No, I think he was in Memphis. I don't think it was ACC.
It wasn't.
I think he was Memphis.
Whatever conference.
Look it up.
He was like all freshmen.
I want to say that was called the Metro Conference in those days. I mean, it's a long time ago, but look up Sylvester Gray. I want to say it was Memphis. That guy's ability was, through the roof. Like the kind of athletic ability that you're like, holy crap, who is this guy? And he was never able to put it together. And so these are the things that you worry about, and it happens all the time with all kinds of athletes. That, yeah, they're really gifted, but they don't know how to fine-tune it. They don't know how to maximize it. And if our boy Jordan Love doesn't know how to maximize it, we're screwed, bro. We're screwed. You take him, and then it's a wasted pick.
Bro, you're Memphis State.
Memphis State. Okay.
Sylvester Gray is an American former professional basketball player. He was selected by the Miami Heat in the second round of the 88 NBA draft.
Right.
6'6", small forward.
Sick ability, bro. Sick ability. Crazy, bro. Crazy.
He played in only one NBA season.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I can remember seeing film, and we were all like, man, this kid's got
super
potential,
gifted.
man.
Super gifted. Super gifted. Most of you have no idea what the hell I'm talking
and
about.
that second-round pick, this is back
30 years ago.
This is back when the NBA went 8 to whatever it was. It was like the NFL. Like it wasn't just one. It wasn't 2 rounds.
No, I think it was 7.
Yeah, 7, 8. I said 8.
No, I don't think it was 8. I think it was 7. I want to say 7.
So being second.
No. I'm sorry. No, we were down to 3 in those days.
We were
already down to 3. Yes. Yeah, we were down to 3 because I want to say Grant Long was the 3rd rounder.
Wow.
Look up Grant Long, either 2nd or 3rd rounder. But I think, no, we were just down to 3 rounds in the NBA. But why do I want to think that Grant Long was a 3rd rounder? Not sure now. Maybe there wasn't 3 anymore at that time. Maybe they already had cut it down to 2. Check it out. Tell me there, because I want to say like maybe the first year of the Heat or second year they were still a 3rd round. Was it?
That's the same year he was the 33rd pick overall.
Who, Long? So high second round.
High second round, yeah.
High second rounder. Okay. I know they had just eliminated it, or we got it for a year or 2, the 3rd rounder or something, maybe. I don't know. It's so long ago, it's hard to even remember.
Another guy out of a small school, Eastern Michigan.
Oh, yes. The Herons. The Eastern Michigan Herons. I think that's how it was. Antonio says, big old Dolphins, be smart and take the best available pick at number 5. Draft a project QB in the later rounds. It's probably the smart move, my man. Flipper13 says the chosen one. I don't know what that means. Let's see. Dean G says, Big O, how long to give the team to figure out Herbert's ability if they draft him? Within the first 2 years, my man. You got to know already in 2 years. A guy like that. A guy like Love might take a little more than 2 years. You know, it's like what Tyrone was saying. With Love, he's a little bit more of a project. So you have to be a little bit more patient with him. And I've told you guys this many times in the past. I don't take projects at the top 10 picks. No. At quarterback, there's no way I'm taking a project in the top 10. No. Can't do that. Mike Kennedy says, whoever the Dolphins draft, they must sit and learn at least 1 year, and they must not succumb to the pressure of playing him too soon for the fans and the media. You know, Mike, that is, in theory, you are 100% right. But the reality is that if you're playing Fitz and you're out of playoff contention, and this is week 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, you may want to get the kid in there at one point or another. You may want to get the kid in there in a blowout loss, a blowout win in the second half for a quarter or something. So I agree with you to a certain extent. If the kid isn't ready and he's green and the team is playing really well with Fitz, you know, then you ride Fitz out. I'm with you there, baby. But if the team is kind of struggling and they're officially eliminated from the playoffs and there's a couple of weeks left in the season, I think the smart play is to work him in there as much as possible. Not necessarily throw him into the fire all the way, but you don't remember what they were doing with Rosen last year? Which is kind of what, by the way, we told you that they would do that with Rosen also, that, hey, they'll bring him in, you know, and then they brought him in, but he never grew. And so that'll be the key if you draft Love, if you draft Herbert, whatever. When they bring him in, he's got to slowly make some tangible progress. And if it's not there, I think we kind of know what the MO of Flores is. Like, you know what? We really needed Flores in the Jamar Fletcher days. Because he would have benched Jamar Fletcher's ass right away and said, you can't play, dude. You can't play in man-on-man. Get your ass on the bench. Plus, he would have scouted himself along with the front office and said, we can't draft that guy. We play man-on-man. He's a zone guy. But my point is he wouldn't have played him. But, you know, Weinstein and Spielman, they kept playing Eddie Moore.
Well, you
Remember
also had to back up what the front office did. And,
right.
So, you know, hey,
you're justifying it.
Validate it.
That's what I love about this front office. And that's what I keep. That's why I keep. I know I sound like this complete blind ass fan homer and all that, but that's what I love about this front office. These guys they're working together, man. There's no agenda. It's not the coach fighting the general manager because they added the general manager after they hired the coach. It's not the coach and the general manager fighting each other because the owner kept the general manager and hired his own coach. No. There's no power struggle here. Okay? Chris Grier brought in his guy. And his guy brought in his coaches. Okay? And Chris Grier brought in his personnel people. How did we have the Dolphins structured for always? Right? It's one of those things that we brought Spielman and Wannstedt together, and then there was a power struggle. And then remember what happened? They took away the power from Spielman and gave it to Wannstedt. Oh, yeah, that's going to work out for those two. You take the power away from one and give it to the other. And then we had the Ireland, Sperano, Parcells, and what was the woman's name with the red hair? Whatever. I mean, we had people backstabbing each other and this and that. And then you threw Joe Philbin in after you got rid of Sperano. And the mess continued. And then you brought in Tannenbaum. And Tannenbaum and his draft magazines and all that stuff. And then he's got to, wrestle power. And then you've got Gase. And that's all we've ever had is a crap show in the front office. And now there's no crap show. Now it's men working together that know each other. And guess what? They all have the same philosophy. And they all have the same agenda. That's why I'm telling you, the Dolphins are headed for bigger and better things. Because we actually have a group of men that are working together, supporting each other, not throwing each other under the bus, not running to the owner and telling the owner, hey, this guy did this, that guy did that, whatever. None of that. All that is gone. I can't tell you guys, I can't explain it more to people about what's going on with this team compared to years past. And that's the meat of the matter here, where this is all really, really changed. So we shall see, my friends. 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. You can also reach out to me on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always. Let's see what we got here on the accidentlawfirm.com. Text line says, you forgot Hickey in the 20-year front office crap. Yeah, exactly. And by the way, Dennis Hickey didn't do a bad job. He did a good job here. Considering all the crap around him, he actually did pretty good. You look at his picks. But he hit on a lot of guys on a short time. Guys, Jamarcus was gifted at one thing, just like Jared Lorenzen. He never missed a meal. Seconds and thirds at the buffet line. Gifted isn't throwing a ball 70 yards. Gifted is doing that with the brain and flexibility. Jamarcus was crap. You, sir, are 1,000% right. Dolphin 617 says, hey, Big O, draft night, Raiders call and offer 12-19 and second rounder. Trade or stay at 5. I say, see you later. Grab Love. Thoughts. Stay safe, guys. That's interesting. You move down from 5 to 12 and you take Love instead. I kind of like that. It's a nice fancy, fantasy trade. I doubt it's even none of these trades ever happen that you guys come up with, but I might do that trade. So do you still like the idea of Tua now that Armando's article points out what Michael Lombardi said? I never said I like it. I said I understand it. And I'm all good with it. I have no problem if they draft him. But like I told you, you got to hit on the other 13. I'm the one saying from day one he's a sack of injuries. Not Lombardi, not Salguero, not anybody else. Okay? I've told you from the get-go he is going to break down because that's what they do. Teal Green is injury prone, he stays injury prone. Devontae Parker's injury prone, he stays injury prone. That's just the way it is. It happens with almost every player. So it's just one of those things. With the Michael Lombardi report and with rumors about our Dolphins strongly pushing to trade for the first overall and the bad interview they had with Tua makes me believe the Dolphins are one of those teams. Again, if you want to fall for the banana in the tailpipe on Burrow, that's not going to happen. Big O, what are your thoughts on the Finns taking 2 at 5, then moving up and taking Willis? I think you asked me that on the text machine. I am not giving away picks. Latest from Mike Lombardi. I saw that already. Another one bringing it up. Loving the marriage advice. So I like how you put it. You can't argue about everything. Pick and choose your battles. I'm 3 years in my marriage. I hope I can make it to 27 like yours and your wife. God bless you, buddy. G-Bro. Yes, sir. Very important to pick and choose your battles. Let them win the ones that you can win. You're going to lose, and they're not big enough. You can't fight about everything, bro.
I am to assume that we're just going to roll out the rest of the hour.
Yeah, I guess so. I saw that. I saw like at 37. I'm like,
just steam. That half-hour idea, man. You like to steamroll it.
I know. Sorry, not interested in Tua in the first round. It's a wasted pick. He won't make it, too injury-prone. I heard your logic at 5, but I don't believe he will ever be healthy enough for a whole year. And you should believe that. That's what Tua has shown you. He can't stay healthy. Jess in Minneapolis, I replayed today's show, and speaking as a black man, I have to say that you nailed it regarding the black front office executive head coach and coordinator. You speak the language, Big O. Nicely done. Well, thank you. It's not that I speak the language. I'm just brutally honest. That's all. I'm just willing to say what really is going on. And most people are afraid of saying what's really going on. Big O, if Brady does horribly in Tampa and gets benched, is that proof that he needed Bill? Okay. What's it called? Yeah, I mean, if he fails, yes. If he fails, it'll prove Bill right, like he's been right with so many other players that he let go because they were, running out of gas. So, yeah, I would have to agree with you on that one. That would have to be the case. 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can also reach out to me on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always. That's like a 24-hour talk show if you want to join us here on the program. And again, for those of you watching, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Give us the thumbs up while you're watching. Also share the show with folks. Send it to a friend on a text. Post it on Twitter, on Facebook, all that good stuff. And we thank all of you for tuning in. We got a nice little crowd here right now checking out the show. So we appreciate you, and we're coming to you live from Toyota of Hollywood. There's Herbie right there, baby. He is ready to take care of you. Come on out here to 1841 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, and they will take care of you. I promise you, man. Good people. Tell them that I sent you. Okay, make sure you mention it. So there's 52 likes, and then there's 2 dislikes. I like it. A couple dislikes and everything. It's a beautiful thing. Nothing wrong with a couple of dislikes. So Peter King says that Miami should trade for Burrow and offer 4 first-round picks. I'm a huge Peter King fan. The man is a legend in our business, a great insider. No doubt he's got access to people. But I got to tell you something. I don't know if he's, working somewhere where he's drinking a little too much or something. But he says that some in the Bengals building like Justin Herbert. So he says the Dolphins should offer 4 first-round picks for Joe Burrow. Now, I got to tell you something. One-year wonders like Baker Mayfield and Mitchell Trubisky and Mark Sanchez are guys that are littered all over this league. There aren't a lot of these quarterbacks that are one-year wonders and that they translate over to the NFL and they go off to have great careers. Now, I like what I saw from Joe Burrow too. And if the Dolphins did end up with the worst team in the NFL, like the Bengals, and they ended up with the number 1 pick, okay, do it, man. Take Joe Burrow, move on, take the chance. I get it. But you're at 5. You have set your team up to build it up, like I told you, in the O-lines and D-lines, and you're going to give up all these picks for one guy and for something that has screwed teams in the NFL over and over and over again. Guys that only perform for 1 year at a high level. And then teams thought that that's what they were getting. And then when they drafted him, they figured out Mark Sanchez is not that good. He was just surrounded by an amazing team at USC. Baker Mayfield wasn't that good because he was led by a very intelligent coach and a scheme that really sets up every quarterback that's played for him. You know what it reminds me of? You remember Jeff Tedford was on a roll in California, and every California quarterback until Aaron Rodgers kind of stunk it out? And then if you're older, okay, then you remember the run that BYU was on, right? And they had several quarterbacks that put up all kinds of yards. Now, a couple of them, Steve Young and Jim McMahon,
rewrote the college record books.
Right.
Rewrote them.
Right.
And then who came along and right behind it? Rewrote again.
Right. But you had the Robbie Boscos, you had the Ty Detmers.
Detmer was behind Steve.
Yeah. You had different other, there were several.
Canes lost the opening game of a season to BYU at the 90, 92, 93, something like that.
Yeah. But during that stretch, every BYU quarterback was kicking ass. But they did produce 2 studly ones.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? I mean, Jim would have been a monster if he didn't get injured. He would have had a hell of a career and would have finished out.
They're playing quarterback, Jim, not middle linebacker.
I don't know if he ends up in the Hall of Fame. I don't know if you would say that, but we would have said, because I still say it to this day, he's a hell of a quarterback. He was a hell of a quarterback, bro. I don't care what anybody tells me, man.
In the history of the NFL, minimum 100 starts, he has like the 2nd or 3rd highest winning percentage as a starting quarterback.
He was a hell of a player,
with at least 100 starts.
Yeah, he was a hell of a player, dude. I have no problem saying that. And obviously, Steve Young's a Hall of Famer. But they were on a roll where the system allowed every quarterback to be successful. You know what I'm saying? And Tedford had that run too. So you gotta sometimes look at some of these quarterbacks, and they're part of a system. Whether you're talking about Oklahoma or when USC had it going on, it all depends on or Tedford or whatever. And that's why you got to look at this and say, well, okay, this kid, everything went well for him in 1 year. Now, LSU is loaded. We're going to see a whole bunch of those players drafted. Not just on defense, on offense, I'm saying. We're going to watch a couple of those players drafted over the next couple of years, and we're going to say, okay, so he was playing with a lot of talent. Now, he's accurate and all that stuff, but you still don't know if that's what you're getting from here on out. And that's why what Peter King is saying is extremely irresponsible. Because Tennessee is proving to you that you can load up the team, and with a serviceable quarterback, you can get to the AFC Championship game. Their job is to find a stud. They don't have one right now, but okay, they'll go with Ryan for now. That's what I want the Dolphins to do. Don't reach for a quarterback. Especially when it's not like you're not reaching for Andrew Luck. You're telling me you're trading for Andrew Luck, and I'm telling you, okay, that's a different ballgame. Go ahead. But these guys are not Andrew Luck. I did not watch Joe Burrow kick ass for 3 years. I didn't watch Jordan Love kick ass for 3 years. And while Tua did kick ass while he played, I watched him break down every year. It's a whole different ballgame when you're able to watch somebody actually literally ball every year.
You know what, this is another guy that goes into that pile of writers that you've pointed out that you could say whatever, this, that. At the end of the day, that pick is not on you. It's not your job, this, that, and you could just throw out whatever you want, okay?
Kansas State had a guy, and I fell for it, by the way, years ago, Josh Freeman. He was super gifted, man, and big, strong, had a great arm, and he played well the first 2 years in the NFL. In fact, he had a performance here against the Dolphins that was, one for the lifetimes. That guy looked like he looked like he was the second coming of God at quarterback. And then the wheels completely started to fall off Josh. And he never got it back. And he was a one-year wonder at K-State. And he was a physical wonder, too. Not only could he move around, but the dude had a cannon. And so teams fell in love with him. Got to be careful with that, man. Got to be very careful with these one-year wonders. Because you try to get these kind of guys, and it could blow up in your face in a big-time way. Big O, you are absolutely right about the trenches. Win games on both sides of the field. That's what J-Mac says. T-Bone says, hey, Big O, Rosen is a top 10 pick. Remember, put a decent O-line in front of him. He's no slouch. Once he's given a fair opportunity, then judge him. 2021 class has good QBs. Draft Gordon now and see. Problem is, T-Bone, I just talked about this. I need to see you perform well in chaos too, and I didn't see Rosen do that. And if the only way you're going to perform well is that you have to have a great line all the time, and you have to have a great running game all the time, and everything has to be perfect for you, then you don't have the right quarterback. Because there's going to be times where the running game is not working. There's going to be times where you might go into the game with your third tackle. Might be games where you're going in with your third center. And you got to find a way to overcome. And you got to make quick decisions, get rid of the football, put less pressure on your line, something Rosen failed to do. Knowing he didn't have a lot of time, he failed to make quick decisions. That is on him. I can't blame the Dolphins. I'm not blaming the front office. I'm not doing that. You got to show me at times that you can rise above it. And Rosen didn't. So I'm not going to give it. And I'm a Rosen guy, but I can't give him the break. Dougie Fresh says, congrats on 2K. Oh, we hit it? Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, 2K.
Congratulations there, bud.
Congrats, brother. There we go. 2K. That's nice. That's nice. Thank you all.
This second 1,000 came pretty quick compared to that first, you know?
Yeah, no, that first took a little bit, but this second, you're right. This 1,000 from 1 to 2,000 came pretty quick. So, now it's off to 3,000 now. Let's build it up, baby. Spread the word. Tell the folks to subscribe. George Vidal says, sign Winston, draft BPAs in the first round, draft a QB in the second. If still need a QB, give it all up in 2021 for Trevor. All right? Miles Kennedy, John Beck. Yeah, it was a second-round bust. Yep. Peter King suffering from cabin fever and some bad CBD products. Yeah, dude, 4 first-rounders. My man, you better be convinced that he's better than Marino if I'm giving up 4 first-rounders. Brooklyn Rob says, was a huge Tua fan, but starting to believe he is made of glass and won't draft him at 5. Also, not taking a hybrid in Simmons. I like Simmons, but I think Miami needs a different kind of player at that spot. And I'm a Simmons guy. But I would go, if I'm going to take a position player, I'm going to take a lineman at 5 over Simmons. I'm going to take a tackle, man, because whether it's Fitz or whoever, you've got to drastically improve that line, and you're going to have an opportunity to get a franchise tackle at number 5. So, yeah.
The only thing about him where he can play linebacker on the edge and blitz and cover anybody. I look at him like when you're playing Madden and you like take the best and fastest safety and you just move them all over the place. You know what I mean? And just wreak havoc.
Yeah.
With those lockdown corners that we have.
Yeah.
I just see him as that guy, man, and you just take the joystick and just disrupt.
Yeah. No, I get it. I think he's the kind of piece you add when you have a more complete defense and you're missing that one guy that can be interchangeable. How much say does Flores have on draft choices in the first round? If he disagrees with Greer, do they pass? I think they work together, my brother. I don't think it's I think it's a collective thing between Flores, Greer, McKenzie, and Allen, where they're all, they all have they say their piece, but Greer's going to have final say over everybody because he's the general manager. So he's going to make look, in the end, we got to do what we've always done with everybody else. Okay? The general manager is going to take all the credit and all the heat because in the end, we don't know exactly which scout was crazy for this running back or that safety or that defensive end or that quarterback, and they kind of drafted him because of him. You know what I mean? Like the story's been out for years, right? That Gil Brandt is the reason why Troy Aikman went to Dallas, not Jimmy Johnson. But Jimmy's going to get all the credit for building the entire team. And we don't know exactly what scouts had a hand in any draft pick for the Cowboys during that time. Just like you don't know exactly which scouts helped you pick this player, that player, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So in the end, you got to lay all the blame and lay all the credit on the general manager. And Greer has final say. So it'll be up to him. All right, let's take a quick break.
I was going to say, man, you're going to blow by the hour too, man. Come on.
No. All right, we did 1 hour straight. Will you get that in radio at all? No, I doubt that. An hour straight of talk. All right, can I take a break?
Yeah, you're entitled to a break and then some.
Let me get some water and be back in a couple minutes. Give us a really short break. We'll be back. We got a bunch of things to talk about. I got to talk about a cheap NFL team. I've got a basketball player that is not fooling anybody. We got a reporter and Trump having a very interesting conversation. We've got a former NFL player accused of murder. Man, I got so many things. Ooh, former baseball player turning into a major, major scumbag. And Conor McGregor's also in the news. And I got a boatload of music notes, too. So it sounds like I have a lot of things still to get to. And we'll do that next, right here on The Big O Show, live from Toyota of Hollywood.
Will reimburse payments up to a total of $1,800 based on purchase and MSRP on approved credit on select models. Excludes tax, tag, title, and includes $8.99 dealer fee. Offer ends 5/4/20. Toyota of Hollywood is open, and we're here to serve you. The safety of our customers and associates is our top priority. Toyota of Hollywood is following strict guidelines, including social distancing and keeping our facilities clean and sanitized. Buy with zero down, 0% APR financing, and we'll make your payments till 2021. Pay up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 2019 pre-owned Camry LE, not $27,000, $16,775. 2020 pre-owned Corolla LE, not $22,000, $13,775. Shop and save at our 400,000 square foot dealership at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2019 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
back. I took a little break there. I mean, I'm entitled, right? Can I take a little break? Just, a little bit. Although it was like one of those things like, okay, so I had to go to the bathroom, right? So you got to take off. You're not going to touch your privates after you've had your gloves on, right?
No, the gloves are corroded.
Right. So you got to throw the gloves out, right? Wash your hands. Go to the bathroom. Wash your hands again. Then I walked back to the car, got a new set of gloves, then went to go buy a couple of waters, one for Bill, one for myself, and then now we're back. So
listen, that thing about you talking really slow and dragging this out so I could cut up all that stuff over there that you just did that last hour. Thank you, sir, for no stopping. And I am partly to blame for that, but why stop a good thing when it's going?
Yes.
Dude, you can talk really slow.
Yeah, that may not bode well for the people listening. Although we lost some folks, man. What's wrong? You guys didn't have any patience and waiting in there? Steve D'Onofrio Jr. says, exciting time to be a Finn fan. Keep doing your thing, Big O. Great show. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Chase 1 says, Omar to negative man. LOL. Okay, I don't know what that means. Mark McIntyre says, Burrow was ahead of Haskins, but Joe broke his hand in the summer and knew Haskins would keep the job, so he transferred. I know, but either way, he wasn't impressive at Ohio State. He wasn't impressive right when he got to LSU. It was this year where he exploded because Brady was his coach. And Joe Brady now is in Carolina with Matt Rule. Michael McBride says, if you take offensive line couple spots and pick up a second. Chase 1 says, Big O, an air guitar maestro. Yes, I am. No doubt about that. I am one of the best air guitarists in the world. Guaranteed. Chase 1 says Masters would have started today also. Yes. Give me real Masters. I can watch a little bit of it, but watching the replay, no. Sorry. 2019 Miami Miracle says, what's going on? Work is going on, my man. We are having some fun talking sports. Marky Mark says, I love watching media go ape crap crazy. They can't predict what Miami will do in the draft. Miami's organization has stayed away and tight-lipped. That's right, baby. It's a new day. I keep telling everybody it's a new day. Jordan loves garbage. Throws too many interceptions and can't read a defense well. That's why I can't take him at 5, man. He's a monster project. Super talented, but project, man. Joan Hernandez says, I know we don't agree on Justin Herbert, but that's why I love the show, because we have a conversation. Keep it friendly. Thank you for what you do. Hope you get million subscribers. Well, thanks to you guys. I don't know about 1 million, but we continue to grow every single day here. And that, my friends, is awesome. You know, there's no plateau. We have continued to grow. We've got, we're well over 1 million now in the downloads. So it's been a really good week this week. Got a lot of good things happen this week. We hit 1 million and we hit 2,000 on the YouTube subscribers. So thank you all out there for being such incredible support. And again, this is the reason why we're growing, because of you guys. We're able to do this every single day, provide you a show that you guys can watch, and then give you the kind of sports content, which I know we have no sports going on, but we're trying to at least keep it as sports-oriented as possible. Then again, we could do some of the off and wacky stuff. Yesterday, I'm not going to get political just because you hear the word Trump in it, okay? I'm going to have a little fun because a reporter, which I got to tell you something, this reporter, that's just not the guy I'm asking the question. You're in the middle of a pandemic. I don't think that's the question you ask because, I don't know, right now is not the time to deal with the lighter side of anything if you're the president. You know what I mean? And it's not Trump's fault at all, okay? I actually give Trump credit for how he handled the silly question. But here's a reporter. Can we play it, Bill? The reporter? Can we play the reporter asking Trump a second here real quick?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just over here working. I'm sorry.
I know. So Trump was doing his press conference yesterday. So a reporter chimed in about something that has nothing to do with politics. I want you to hear this, okay? Go for it.
So one of the biggest rating hits of the coronavirus, aside from these briefings, has been a show on Netflix called Tiger King.
Yeah.
And the man who's the star of this is a former zoo owner who's serving a 22-year prison sentence. He's asking you for a pardon, saying he was unfairly convicted. Your son yesterday jokingly said that he was going to advocate for it, and I was wondering if you've seen the show and if you have any thoughts on pardoning Joe Exotic.
Which son? It must be Don.
It was.
I had a feeling it was Don. Is that what he said? I don't know. I know nothing about it. He has 22 years for what? What did he do?
He allegedly hired someone to murder an animal rights activist, but he said that he didn't do that, and he was.
You think he didn't do it? Are you on his side?
Well, I'm
are
a
you
reporter.
are you recommending a pardon?
No, I'm not advocating
As
anything.
a reporter, you're not allowed to do that. You'd be criticized by these. Would you recommend a pardon?
I'm not weighing in on Tiger
I don't think you would. I don't think you would. Go ahead. You have a question? I'll take a look. Is that Joe Exotic? That's Joe Exotic.
They showed him a picture of Joe Exotic. I do love how Trump turns it on the reporters. Says, "So, you're going to give him a pardon?" Because basically,
if you're going to bring it up, are you willing to back it up?
Right. Because basically, as a reporter, you're bringing it up to Trump to kind of set him up too. You know what I mean? Because that's what it is. It's a setup question. And so, like,
if you're going to dish it, get ready to take it.
Right. And so Trump's like, and Trump knows also that you're giving him a setup question, but he doesn't even know. He hasn't watched it, right? But if he would actually say, no, I would pardon Joe, then that would become a whole big story. You know what I mean? And so I love how Trump turned it on him. So would you give it? Oh, I'm not. I love these reporters, right? You know what? You're in the media, okay? Have a freaking opinion, bro. Strap on a pair, man. That guy, Trump turns it to him and said, would you give him a pardon? I would have turned to Trump and said, no, sir, I would not. I'm just asking you to see if you've seen it and your son comment on it. That's it. If I was playing the role of that reporter, man, have an opinion, bro. I hate these guys that men or women, you chase after people asking them for their opinion, and then when they ask you, oh, no, I don't have an opinion. Oh, dude, what? You make your life searching for everybody else's opinions? And then, so you're not going to have one? So then you sit there to criticize or compliment people with opinions, but then when they're asking you for an opinion, you want to stay away from it? You want to stay neutral? Wuss. By the way, you got to go back and look at that video. Have you seen that video at all, Bill?
Which one's that? Oh,
the one of him asking Trump. Have you seen the video? Have you watched it?
Yes, I did, actually. I got to see it because the download was.
Oh, that's right. Okay. What else? Did you pay attention to what else was going on in that picture at all? Did you see something else there that caught your eye?
I was in too much of a rush to get done by 11
Okay.
and get it cut.
Go watch it again. Watch the female reporter behind him.
Oh, the facial expression.
She's tripping out on, like,
Yeah.
First of all, I was like, she was writing something, and when
then
he
it
asked
just-
about Tiger King, she's like, huh? What? Like, huh? And then she's like kind of like smiling and smirking through it like, I can't believe this guy's doing this.
Yeah, we're talking
you know?
about COVID-19
Yeah, we're,
and like
right,
we're
we're
serious.
in the middle of a pandemic, and
We're
this
trying
guy
to find
wants
out
go-
where the respirators are going and
That's crazy.
where
Ask him
are
about
the
Tiger
3
King.
million N95 masks.
She was tripping out. Check it out if you can. Go to the video and look at the woman behind. Like, you could tell, like, she's like, I would never ask this. Like, we're here to work and not ask about Tiger King. You know what? If you ask the president, any president, about Tiger King, and it's a dull day in the White House and nothing's going on, there's no pandemic, nobody's hijacked, there's no war going on in the
It's a
Middle East.
know-nothing day, nothing
It's just
serious.
a regular day.
Yeah.
The market's down 500 points or up 500 points. Just a regular day, okay? That's the biggest news item. And you ask him, Tiger King, you know what? I'm all right with that. In the middle of a pandemic, I don't know, if I'm your boss and I'm the editor, I'm like, dude, what? Is that what you're writing about? You're going to write about Tiger King? Is that the angle you're trying to find here?
You do realize you're debriefing the White House on the pandemic.
Yeah. You're talking to the most important dude in our country, and you're asking him about some lowlife in a jail that abuses animals, allegedly. 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. Samu02 says, I can't speak for everyone, but personally, I just want a QB worthy of rooting for. Tua, Herbert, Love, or whoever it may be. It's been too long since we had a true franchise QB. And I love you, brother. You're 1,000% right. We all want that, man. Every Dolph fan wants that. We've all been dying to recover from Marino.
That guy, I think, just explained all of Dolphin Nation, right?
Yeah, I mean, listen. Stephen Ross has to prove that he is Joe Robbie. Just like Brian Flores, not that he has to prove he's Don Shula, because that would be like really high praise.
A step just under.
Right, but he has to prove that he is a very good coach, that he is worthy of keeping this job for a long time. And then they've got to find a QB that overcomes Marino. Not that he's better, equal to Marino, but we need a franchise QB. My point is, all three positions we've been trying to fix for a long, long time. And look, I'm a Stephen Ross fan, but obviously I can't put him in the Robbie class because he doesn't win. And so until he starts winning, then we can, but I do like Stephen Ross personally. I do, because I think he really cares about winning and is doing his best. He's trying his best. Not accomplishing it, but he's trying. Now he's finally got it right. It took him a while, but he finally got it right. So I got to give him a little love for that. 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. You can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always, because as you know, that, my friends, is a 24-hour talk show. We're out here at Toyota of Hollywood. Herbie Lopez sitting right there waiting to take care of you. It's a beautiful thing, so come on out here. Saw Tony Stampone. He's in the house. It's good stuff. Always good to see Tony. Good people out here. Remember, they've got 90 days, no payments right now here at Toyota of Hollywood. So if you need to buy or lease a vehicle, your vehicle is maybe your lease is about up now. Maybe your car is breaking down. Maybe you have time now to get a vehicle, which is, once life gets going again, you won't have time. So come on down here, man, and it is a good time to do it. The interest rates are amazing, and, of course, you're going to get 90 days, no interest, which is a beautiful thing. Oh, let's see. Somebody's saying, you misunderstood my comment earlier. I meant now I believe the Dolphins are one of the teams who are now off the Tua train, and I do not want to trade the house for Burrow either. Stay where you are and keep the picks you work so hard for in trades, losses, etc., and have a killer draft picking essential players for this team. That's a beautiful text right there on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. That's beautiful. I'm with you 100%. No one's opinion I respect more in South Florida than yours, for calling it as you see it with the Dolphins. My point with Armando and Michael commenting on Tua is that you said, quote, I get it if they take him at 5 because of the Dolphins fans' desperation, and the team, by the way, not just the fans, the team too. Desperation is a stinky cologne. Just look at the past 20 years. You were spot on when you say load up the rest of the team first. But see, my point is, look, I would take Tristan Wirfs at 5. I've said that, I think, from the get-go. But the one thing where I've opened up a little bit and I've relaxed it a little bit is you have 14 picks, okay? If you want to take them at 5, then go for it, man. Go for it. My point is, the next 13 picks, you better have a hell of a draft. That's all. You can load it up with essential players from there on out. You'll get another tackle at 18, and there'll be plenty of players for you to fill all the other needs, from running backs to linebackers. You want to get a receiver. You could do it all. Free safety. there's a bunch of things that you can do in this draft. You have all the picks in the world. So not that I would do it, but I'm not going to be ripping the team for taking Tua at 5. I'm not. Because I understand what they're doing. They're going to take the gamble. If the kid stays healthy, they hit on him. If they didn't, you swing and miss and you move on. But again, like I said, the key is those next 13 picks, you better find 6 or 7 gems in there. Because remember, by eliminating 5, you eliminated the best pick of your draft, which should be the most obvious player to draft, right? Which should be at 5, you should have a higher percentage of hitting on 5 than you do on 18, on 26, on 39, and so forth and so on, right? You're supposed to. You know that that's not true. You could end up with Zach Thomas in the 5th round, and he'll be your best player in the entire draft. You know what I'm saying? You could end up with Jason Taylor in the 3rd round and be your best player in your entire draft. That happens. But my point is that 5th pick, it's supposed to be the 5th best player that's on your board. So there's only 4 players you like better than that one in the entire draft. So you're supposed to hit on that 5th pick. So now if you take Tua instead, you're now taking a monster gamble on a kid that's constantly injured. That's why I'm saying I wouldn't do it, but I get it. I understand it. Go for it. That's fine. Just knock it out in the next 13. You better be, outstanding. That way, if Tua succeeds, you have one of the greatest drafts you've ever had of all time. If he succeeds and the rest of your draft is not that good, your draft will be great because you got your franchise quarterback. Now, if Tua fails and the rest of the draft is great, you know what? Everybody will look at it. All right, you took the chance in the quarterback. We get it. But, man, you nailed on you got the tackle. You got a linebacker. You got a corner. You got a wide receiver. You got a running. Man, you kicked ass in this draft. You got a stud special teamer. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Now, you fail on Tua and you fail on the next 13 and you only find 1 or 2 players, that's trouble. That's a lot of trouble. That's how it works out. Okay? That's where, again, not what I would do because he's injury prone. And I've told you this, I kind of learned my lesson already. Okay? And I told you this story. I like Demaryius Thomas coming out of Georgia Tech. I wanted the Dolphins to draft him. He had some ankle injuries, had an ankle surgery and everything in college. But he was a beast. And he ended up being injury prone in the first couple of years, then went on a roll for about 5-6 years of playing really, really high-level football, one of the best receivers in the league. And then he kind of finished his career injury prone and broken down. So he kind of overcame what he was in college and what he was early on in the NFL. And then I did the same thing with Devontae Parker. Love Devontae Parker's ability, man. I wanted the Dolphins to draft him, and they did. But he was injury prone in college. I should have paid attention to it, and he ended up becoming injury prone in the NFL for 4 years. And in his 5th year was the year where he finally put it together, right? But the problem is, ladies and gentlemen, that he put it together, and we don't know if he can do it again. We're hoping, obviously, because the kid's a beast. If he can stay healthy, we see it. So in comes Tua now. And I've done this already a couple times. And one time I've been burned badly, which is the one with Parker. The one with what's it called now? I'm forgetting the kid from Denver now. What's his name now that I just said his damn name from Georgia Tech? Anyway, you know who
the one that came via Jacksonville, right?
No, dude. No. You're not listening. You were paying attention doing something else. Anyway, so I ended up, all right, that one became a good pick. The Devontae Parker one, not a good pick. And now if he takes off from here on out.
I was just going to say, man, give yourself a little,
yeah, but
verdict's not out yet.
But right now it's not a good pick. Only 1 year out of 5 is not good. It's just not good. You can't spend the number 11 pick on the draft and only get 1 out of 5 years. So in comes Tua now. And I can't do it again. I've kind of gone through this already over the years, and it's just not the right thing to do. You can't keep counting on people that are not physically reliable. And that's the problem with Tua, that he's not physically reliable. 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. That's 786-322-1105. Ray says, I agree, Big O. Next picks, if we pick Tua, left tackle, center, safety, and another QB to develop, uses trade bait in the future. Hashtag trust Greer. Let's see. John Santos. Pellegrino. Hey, Pellegrino, I love you, brother. You are the most consistent person in the world. Mike Pellegrino says, we missed out on Drew Brees because we were scared. Wrong again. Saban wanted Brees. The general manager wanted Brees. They went with the doctors. The doctors told them no. Okay? They weren't scared. Saban wanted Brees, but they had to listen to the doctors. So the football people actually weren't scared. But, Mike, you stay consistent, buddy. We love you for that. Stay consistent, my man. You keep spewing misinformation. You, sir, are fantastic for this fake news world. It's awesome. I mean, your consistency is it's a thing of beauty, actually. Barchiel says someone needs to check Trent Dilfer for brain damage. Just read a story where Dilfer says that Tua has a better arm than Marino. No, he didn't say that, dude. There's no way he said that. No, I got to see that. You got to send me that article. Send me the link to that article. I got to read that. Anyone who has watched both and play knows that that's complete. No, that's just what? He's coaching him or something? Is that what it is? I mean, come on, dude. Tua, better arm than Marino? That's funny. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. No, he's right. Trent Dilfer's right. If you look at Marino's 17th year in the league, when he had bone spurs in his arm and he could barely throw, you're right. Tua was better than him. No, he's right. He's right. Tua was better than Marino in his last year. Yeah, he could throw better than him. Yeah. You got to, you know what? That's probably what you overlooked there.
There's a major caveat that ties that story up right. Correct?
Yeah, bro. He was better than Marino when Marino was old and broken down. Bone spurs in the arm and all that. Ted Johnson reading the plays. I can't never. This is like forever. It's in my nightmares. That's it. And it's not me playing with myself because then I would be like this. But no, it's this. Ted Johnson, slants, knowing all the calls. I can't recover from that. I can't. Any of you like the same thing? It's like you want to get that thought out of your mind that Ted Johnson knew our plays. It's like, really? We were that bad? We were that predictable, Jimmy Johnson? You took it off that season like it was nothing? Jimmy didn't even go to the Senior Bowl that year.
Really?
Yeah, leading into his final year, he didn't even go to the Senior Bowl.
That's so not Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah. Oh, that last year he mailed it in when he was like putting the training wheels on Wanstead so he can leave. And then they got, blasted 62-7 and all that. Yeah.
Do you know that scale that he created way back when, they still utilize that?
No, it's not. It's outdated.
But there's adjustments that have been made to it and
there's
stuff.
There's another formula.
Right. Exactly. But the base.
Right.
Is
what he started. Yes.
They tweaked it.
Yes.
But it's amazing that thing still is a living, breathing thing that.
Yeah, but they don't go by it because if you look at the trades that happen, whether it's Diggs or Hopkins, you could tell that there's no scale because
No, that was just
Right, that's what I'm saying. So it's really not a scale. It's just a level of desperation. Who can you take advantage of? Right? That's kind of what it sounds like. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, definitely. People walked away. Somebody got raped.
Yeah, well, that happens, and the Bills that were really, really bad. All right, let me give you a couple of music notes before we continue with some sports talk. Death Cab for Cutie. Are you a fan?
Bro, are you kidding me?
Streaming tonight on their Facebook page starting at 7 o'clock Eastern.
Their early stuff, Catherine, and then they did the thing, Ghost of Beverly Hills. I love that song.
You got to see them live. They're good. I saw them at the Fillmore, and they were really, really good. Melissa Etheridge on tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern. For those of you that are interested, Adelita's Way.
Yes. What?
9:30 Eastern tonight. Facebook and YouTube Live.
Awesome.
Okay?
Guys, go check them out.
Yes.
You'll like them.
Rick Springfield Saturday at noon will be streaming live. Andrea Bocelli will be streaming at 1 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. Snow Patrol today at 3 o'clock Eastern.
Really?
Yeah. You like Snow Patrol?
Whatever that cartoon movie was. God, the one where the dad, they get shrunk or whatever.
Oh, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, whatever.
No, it's a cartoon, and it's
cartoon.
insects and all this, and the song. I can't remember the name of the song. I'll look it up and I'll give it to you guys. But that, and they've got a lot of songs that are in movies.
Well, today,
Snow Patrol.
Today at 5 o'clock on the YouTube channel, Radiohead starts a weekly series at 5 o'clock with a concert like Metallica does. So if you're a Radiohead fan, go to their YouTube channel at 5 o'clock Eastern. Dolly Parton today at 7 o'clock Eastern. Good Night with Dolly. The Roots. You can go to their YouTube channel. They are sharing all kinds of material. No specific time. Just go to the Roots YouTube channel, and they're sharing all kinds of concerts, performances, interviews, things like that. The other thing that I'm looking forward to is Neil Finn, lead singer for Split Enz, lead singer for Crowded House. This is the guy that was touring with Fleetwood Mac. He is this afternoon at 6 o'clock. He's on Fang Radio. It's called FANG Radio at 6 o'clock. So if you're a Neil Finn fan or you like Split Enz or Crowded House or anything like that, check out Neil Finn at 6 o'clock. There you go. What else do we have? That's it. Out of the streaming performances. How about that? So a lot of people are streaming, man. That's pretty cool. A lot of people are giving you some kind of, entertainment during during this pandemic.
The Lightning Strike.
Oh, okay, yes.
Snow Patrol.
Yes, I know that song.
And they've got a bunch. They are utilized in a lot of movies.
Yeah.
Snow Patrol.
Yeah, they're pretty good, man. They're pretty good. Big O, what is your opinion on why Charles Harris is still on the team and still being given a chance? He is Deion Jordan bust minus the suspensions and the drugs. He's not really a drug addict either or an alcoholic or anything like that. Let me give you an answer, okay? The smart thing, believe it or not, is to keep Charles Harris on the roster. I know you're about to drive off the road. If you happen to be on the road, you shouldn't be. You should be at home. You're about to run into a wall. Maybe you fell off your chair while you're watching me on your desk. Whatever it is, I know you're freaking out on me right now, right? Don't. You need training camp fodder. You need guys to get through, right? Plus, you're already paying him. He doesn't make any money off of you until you start the season. So here's my prediction for Charles Harris. Charles Harris is going to be on the team during the offseason. And whenever training camp starts, he'll be there. When you get to cutting the 53 guys, he'll be one of the guys cut. So what you do is you're paying him anyway. So you bring him back for one more offseason. He gets another chance. If somehow or another the light goes on, you win. If it doesn't, you cut him and you move on before the season starts. You don't have to pay him another penny again, and it's over. But right now, it's not worth cutting him because you gain nothing and you could lose something. I know what you're saying. He's a bust, and he probably will stay a bust. But why not keep him on the roster anyway? You just never know. And it does. Right now, it doesn't hurt you keeping him on the roster. It doesn't help you. It does nothing. It's neutral. It's up to him now. If he balls, he stays and is part of the rotation. If he doesn't, the Dolphins will draft and sign enough people to take his ass and take his job out. They will have 5 guys better than him, I guarantee you. But give him an opportunity. Maybe he proves that he's better than one of those 5 guys because he gets the wake-up call. You just never know. Okay? So that's why you keep Charles Harris on the roster right now.
If you're a betting man, what are you betting?
Oh, no, I already said it. He's gone.
He's gone.
No, he's gone. He's gone. When they get to 53, he'll be 55. It's not 55. I'm sorry. I forgot.
That's why we get to carry 5 quarterbacks.
Right. Yeah, there you go. When they get to 55, Charles Harris won't be one of the 55. That's my prediction. I'm with you there. But right now, you don't gain anything letting him go. But you could gain something by keeping him on the roster. Okay? That's all. Maybe he looks around and goes, holy crap, there's a bunch of talent here. If I don't raise my level of play, I'm not going to stay on this roster, and I won't make the money I have on my contract. I'll get cut and have to then face the minimum. I can make more money by staying here with the Dolphins. Let me ball. Boom. Hey, Jordan Phillips had 5.5 sacks his entire career. Okay? Last year in a contract year, came up with 9.5. And Jordan Phillips is as big a bum as there is out there. That guy takes plays off like it's out of style. Again, leave the little glimmer of hope. Small. It's tiny. It's minuscule. But if Charles Harris comes through, you win. And if he doesn't, you let him. Hey, Devontae Parker was a bust for 4 years. And if they would have let him go after last season and did not play in the 2019 season, and they would have released him, you would have said, good riddance. Guy's been here for 4 years, hasn't done anything. He's stolen money. They hung on to him because it didn't hurt them to hang on to him. And look what happened. The kid turned into a player last year, finally. So I just gave you Jordan Phillips and I just gave you Devontae Parker. 2 absolute busts in their entire career. And they came up with their career year. It can happen, man. Stephen Davis. Look it up for me, Bill. Stephen Davis, the quarterback, the running back. It's PH, Stephen Davis. I want to say Stephen Davis, I know he was a later pick, but I want to say he was a bust for 3 to 4 years. And let me tell you, a running back, usually running backs, you either catch on quickly and you're off and running or you don't. And if you don't early on, you're usually not the guy anymore and they cut you and they move on. But I want to say Stephen Davis, after he got drafted, was a bust for 3 or 4 years. And then he took off and became a Pro Bowl running back for several years. Bill will pull up the stats now. I'm pretty sure the first couple of years, he was a total waste. What do you got for me there? On Stephen Davis.
Take a guess where I'm at.
You're at profootballreference.com.
You betcha.
Okay. I would expect you to be there. Is it years? I want to say it was year 4 that he took off. I'm going to say.
Yeah, exactly. Year 4 prior, we're looking at 195, 100, 1,405, 1,308.
Right, yeah, he was a monster.
1,400.
It's his 4th year, right? That he took off. The first 3 years were a waste. There you go.
Then a hurt. and then another 14 behind it.
No. He became a hell of a back.
So 5 good, obviously 1 injury shortened.
Right.
But yeah, I mean,
no, he became a Pro Bowl
monster.
Yeah, it was a Pro Bowl back. But think about that. It took his 4th year as a running back. Running backs aren't supposed to take that long to develop. I'm sorry. It's just weird for them to take that long. It happens, man. Hey, Kenyon Drake was a waste. Man, some of it was our own fault and all that stuff, but he got a chance in Arizona and was able to shine. That one's a bad example. The other ones are much better examples. But, that's why you keep Charles Harris on the roster. That's the smart move. Protect yourself at the moment. You got nothing to lose. Everything to gain. At all.
Like you said, you're already in.
Yeah, you're done. You're not paying him anything.
You're committed. So you might as well squeeze and get, and like you said, you need bodies in camp.
And there's still a ray of hope because it's happened many times in the past that when a player finds themselves at the end of their rope, they wake up and they realize, oh, crap. So now we'll find out. Remember, here's the other thing that I want to tell you guys. And you saw it with free agency. I predicted this last year when the game was when things were like 3/4 of the season. Those of you that follow us, you know what I'm talking about. I told you that they were creating an environment that people want to be a part of. That in the midst of all this craziness at the beginning of the year, about 3/4 of the way when they started to play better and win and the culture clearly was changing, I told you guys out there, I said, you see what's happening? The Dolphins have gone from the team that everybody's laughing at to now people are looking at it going, well, wait a minute. No, they're doing something there. They're building it. And I told you last year that players and people are going to want to be a part of this organization. That agents are looking at it going, well, wait a minute, they got their stuff over there. That's where I can take my player to be a free agent, go over there, and he can reach his potential. Not go there and steal money because that's what's been happening here for 20 years. So Charles Harris saw the changes last year from the coaching staff all the way down to the players. He saw how people jumped him on the depth chart. He saw them win without him. He saw new guys come off the street, leap over him in the depth chart. So if he has an inkling of professionalism, just if he has a dash of professionalism, of pride, he should be pissed right now. And he should be coming back with, I don't know what kind of vengeance he has in him, but he's got to find it. That's the way I look at it. But if he doesn't, then he is the same bum-ass player he's been since he signed. But there's no doubt in my mind that if Charles Harris right now has to look at everything going, well, I got to come. This place is getting better. I've watched this disaster starting to turn around. I want to be a part of this. These guys drafted me. They believed in me. It's up to me now to turn things around. And I'm coming up to the end of my contract. I'm not going to get a new contract. I'm going to have to play for the veteran minimum. And I'm going to have to go somewhere where I'll be at the back end of the roster and nobody will give me the time of day. Here, at least they know me. It's up to me now. We'll see. We'll find out. We'll find out. And there's a good chance that Charles Harris will be a failure. But right now, keep him on the roster. It's well worth keeping him on the roster. Until you got to get to 55. Then you cut his ass. All right, 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. You can also reach out to me on Twitter at Big O Show. I'm not sure if you saw this, but the news on a baseball player, Josh Hamilton. Did you see this story about Josh Hamilton? This is a disturbing story. It doesn't look like it's You know, it looks like it's true.
This is a kid that had all the problems, right?
Yes, alcohol, drugs,
and
cocaine.
Then he won the home run derby.
Yeah, he has all kinds of
so he's back
addictions.
To being.
It's worse. So the former Ranger was indicted on Monday on account of intentional bodily harm to a child. The charge is a third-degree felony. Hamilton has already pleaded not guilty. The case will be delayed indefinitely due to the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. Now, an arrest warrant affidavit indicates that Hamilton was accused of throwing a water bottle at his 14-year-old daughter in September 30th incident, striking her in the chest. He also allegedly yanked away a chair that she was using to prop her feet up, then threw it in her direction, striking her in the leg. Hamilton was then accused of carrying her from room to room and striking her back and legs. He was also arrested in October. At the time, his ex-wife, Katie, sought a protective order, keeping him away from their children. Now, if this is true, bro, I mean, could you be any more of a lowlife? And I'm sorry. I have sympathy for people that deal with addictions, okay? I get all of that. I truly do. But I don't have sympathy for any of this. And I think we've talked about this in the past. You beat women, you beat kids, you beat animals. I have nothing. No, I have no sympathy, nothing for you. I wish the worst on you. That's what I do. That's the way I look at it. There's no way that I would have any tolerance for somebody like that. And I understand that he's got his issues, but you don't do that to your daughter. And as a father and a husband, I would never, ever put a finger on my wife or my daughter. Ever, man. That's unacceptable on every level. And Josh Hamilton, see, the problem with our society is when you have an addiction, you have a problem, you get jailed or I get jailed or whatever, we're not going to get the second and the third and the fourth breaks. We're going to go to jail. And we're going to suffer serious consequences. But we have this coddling nature in our society that if you're an actor, an entertainer, a musician, an athlete, and you're somewhat productive in your world and you produce, $100 million movies and you produce 50 home runs or you can score 30 points a game or you can score 20 touchdowns a season, we're going to give you every break in the book. Meanwhile, the rest of America lives by a completely different set of rules and different set of laws. And it seems like we all walk into a different court system, too, on top of all of that. And while you can have sympathy and feel sorry for Josh Hamilton, the idea that we have been enablers as a society for him for many years, we have created this monster. That's what we do. We create these monsters because we keep giving them the breaks, and they know they can get away with it.
You know, a commercial I used to really like, man, to give it a perspective. You remember Mark Eaton standing over the camera and being like, if you hit your kid, this is what they're looking like. Imagine me standing over you. You know? Remember that?
Yeah. Oh, I remember. I had Mark Eaton standing over me on the All-Star game going, hey, those are my seats. I'm like, okay, sir, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I'm out of here. My wife's like, what's that? And I go, that's a Mark Eaton, bro. That dude is big.
Yeah, it's a walking building.
No, dude. Yeah, like and when you're sitting down and a dude that's 7'4" says, excuse me, these are my seats. Dude, I'm sorry I had to sit in your seats. They were better than mine. You were about 10 rows closer than I was. We had seats that were right on the basket for the All-Star game. For those of you that don't know the story, back in whatever it was, 88, 89, we had the All-Star game at the Miami Arena. And we had aisle seats, but we were like, 20 rows up. And there were two seats on the aisle, like on the, 10th row, 8th row, something like that, a lot closer, right, down, same section. And they were empty for a while, and the game was about to start. So I go to my wife, hey, let's go sit in those seats. She goes, no, we've got great seats. And I go, yeah, but those are closer. Well, we'll come back to our seats if they throw us out. No big deal. And so I sat down, and about late first quarter, I get a tap on my shoulder. Excuse me, those are my seats. And I look up, it's Mark Eaton.
See, that's interesting because Eaton's a Utah guy, and he shows up fashionably late like a Miami guy would.
Yes.
Very interesting.
Yes. Although it worked out because obviously I ended up on a basketball card being in the seats that I was in. I don't know if I make it to the basketball card on the seats that Mark Eaton was. So, you know, when they tell you that cheesy little line, everything happens for a reason and whatever, even when it's negativity and you're like, screw you, dude. You know, that kind of stuff. Everything happens for a reason. And there you go. That was the reason for me. Did you guys see Chris Johnson? Chris Johnson is in some hot water. You know, the former running back, guy ran like a 4.2, 4.3, whatever it was in the 40 back in the combine. Well, he is now accused of funding a murder-for-hire shooting that left 2 men dead in 2016. And Johnson has not been formally charged with a crime and adamantly denies the allegations, like everybody does, of course. But officials are clearly laying out their case against the running back, and it's compelling stuff. Long story short, officials believe Chris Johnson rewarded a gang member with cash after the guy allegedly killed 2 men who were suspected of gunning down Johnson's friend in 2015. Johnson nearly died in a shooting in Orlando, Florida back in March 8th of 2015. Orange County sheriffs say someone opened fire on a Jeep that Chris was in at 4 a.m. Johnson suffered a bullet wound to his shoulder, made a full recovery, but the driver of the vehicle, Drekis Johnson, did not survive the attack. In the court documents, law enforcement officials say intelligence gathered suggests the shooting was a gang-related murder attempt on Chris Johnson. Officials also say months later, a noted gang member named Dominic Bolden shot and killed 2 men, one on January 19th of 16, another one on the 24th of 16 in July, and who are believed to be the shooters in March 5th, 2015 incident. In the court docs, officials claim an informant told them as a reward for Bolden's alleged actions, Chris helped the guy become a leader of a famed drug trafficking organization in Florida. The informant told officials that Johnson supplied Bolden with funds and an individual who could continually supply Dominic Bolden with as much narcotics as needed to supply the DTO. The informant also told officials that the murder for hire elevated Dominic Bolden's ranks, reputation, and power within the DTO, and eventually made Bolden the org's de facto leader. At the time of the shooting, Chris was tagged in social media posts that appeared to be a threat directed at the gunman, but Chris denied he was seeking revenge, saying, "I don't live that life." Wow. If that's true, I mean, I never really understand these guys because you've got an opportunity at living a great life. Again, the good Lord blessed you with some amazing ability, and you could set an example. You can be that example, and instead, this is what you're going to do. And that's the part that's just, it's disturbing, man. It really is. Did you see Lou Gehrig's bat?
You're asking a Yankee on top of the number 4, him being my favorite Yankee, if I saw that.
Did you see the auction?
Yeah, man.
$1 million, bro.
Hey, you know something, though? Look, the Yankees were the first professional team to ever put numbers on their jersey, and on July 4th, when they retired Lou Gehrig's number, that is the first number ever retired by any sports franchise. He is.
Can I tell you that none of this impressed me? There was one thing that impressed me about this story more than the $1 million, more than anything else.
The number 4. That's your favorite number?
No, it is my favorite number. You are correct. You are correct. Let me read the story for you, and let me see if you guys catch on to what I freaked out on. Okay. Heritage Auctions. Gehrig's first stated using this bat during his college days at Columbia University and continued to use it with the Hartford Senators and his earliest New York Yankees days. The Howrick Brady's stick features Gehrig's last name in block letters on the side of the bat, as well as a message from the manufacturer, 40 ounces.
What?
Okay. It says Lou Gehrig 4/22/25. The bat was not made on 4/22/25. We're told the date represents when Gehrig brought the bat back to the factory to have duplicates made. It was one of Gehrig's favorite bats and one he likely used over several seasons, Chris Ivory of Heritage says. I believe that it's the most significant Gehrig bat in the hobby. Of course, TMZ Sports previously reported older bats belonging to other legends. Babe Ruth's 500th home run bat went for $1 million. Final price tag for Gehrig's bat, $1.025 million. So what stood out in that story that I read to you?
The 40 ounces, man.
Okay, I was more impressed with something else.
Because that's a sledgehammer. That's not a bat.
Okay, but not only that. Okay, this is the part that he started using the bat during his college days at Columbia.
It never broke.
Continued with the Hartford Senators and then with the Yankees. What bat lasts that long nowadays?
I don't know what they made that bat out of, but
That's
they need
my
to figure
point.
it out.
That's my point. When I read that, I was like, dude, that bat's definitely worth $1 million. It doesn't break.
Hey, don't get hit by that bat.
And it's Lou Gehrig. It's not like we're talking Tony Gwynn hitting a bunch of singles.
Yeah.
We're talking about a bomber. I mean, think about that. That's the part to me that's when I'm reading that whole story, yeah, 40 ounces is awesome because anybody that played baseball, you know, man, when you got the 34 ounces, that was a big-ass bat already.
Well, they were a little – we would see 36s.
Yeah.
But that would be –
That's a heavy bat.
36.
That's a heavy bat. 40-ounce bat. Are you kidding me? And he used it for years. For years. You know, what kind of what's it called? What kind of wood is that thing made of? I mean, Kenny Rogers said his chicken, you know, what made it good was the wood. Was he using Lou Gehrig's bats to make his that's why he ran out of chicken places? He ran out of Lou Gehrig bats?
Can I just say right now, you suck, man?
That's strong.
Because I want a little corn muffin thing from Kenny Rogers right now, bro.
Oh, yeah, that was
Oh, my
good.
God.
Yeah, that was good. Yes, I'm with you there. Very, very good. I would have to agree with that. I do. I miss Kenny Rogers. I don't know why that place closed down.
I was just going to say, how?
I
Why?
got to tell you something. Boston Market's the same way. It's gone down too, and they've disappeared from different places. There aren't as many, and I always loved their food too. And it's kind of gone by the wayside. But I loved Kenny Rogers, bro. Kenny
Whenever
Rogers
we
was
would go down to the Keys,
phenomenal, bro.
Whenever we would go down the Keys, we would always stop and eat a Kenny Rogers on US 1.
Yeah.
On the way down the Keys.
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back to start off hour number 4 right here live from Toyota of Hollywood.
So one of the
Will reimburse payments up to a total of $1,800 based on purchase and MSRP on approved credit on select models. Excludes tax, tag, title, and includes $8.99 dealer fee. Offer ends 5/4/20. Toyota of Hollywood is open, and we're here to serve you. The safety of our customers and associates is our top priority. Toyota of Hollywood is following strict guidelines, including social distancing and keeping our facilities clean and sanitized. Buy with 0 down, 0% APR financing, and we'll make your payments till 2021. Pay up to 50% 20% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 2019 pre-owned Camry LE, not $27,000, $16,775. 2020 pre-owned Corolla LE, not $22,000, $13,775. Shop and save at our 400,000 square foot dealership at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2019 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
Some folks like, some folks hate Nickelback. Well, Nickelback, by the way, for those of you that do like Nickelback, they are going to have their long-awaited documentary finally coming out. It's close to being released. It'll be released in the next couple of months, according to Ryan Peake, Nickelback star. He tweeted out that even if you don't want to see anything about Nickelback, we'll have it all for you, so stay tuned. We hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll try to keep you updated. In the meantime, stay safe. And so they have a little tease too. You can go to their Facebook page and their Twitter page, and you can check it out. If you're a Nickelback fan, you will, I guess, enjoy a documentary. I don't have, I'm not one of those guys that's had a problem with Nickelback. I never really understand the people that have this. I don't know. There's like this hatred for Nickelback that I never really get. Actually, because it's
they had a lot of songs, man.
Yeah, but where's the hatred come from?
You know what, though?
I don't understand that one.
I correlate it to back when people started hating Kiss, and it was like, how can you like them guys? You know, if to get to that point, you have to hit it big, okay, to get there.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yep, big. No doubt about that. Todd Gurley is not happy. Todd Gurley, as you know, signed a one-year deal with the Atlanta Falcons. He's got one of those prove-it contracts. kind of what like Jameis Winston's going to end up signing a prove-it contract. But for Todd Gurley, it's a different kind of prove-it. Winston has to prove that he can be a competent football player, whereas Todd Gurley has to prove that the knee isn't an issue when we all know it's an issue. It's a problem. And by the way, it sucks. Okay, let's be honest. You lose, I lose, we all lose. We great players, you want to see them get old. Okay? I don't want to see them get injured and broken down. And he's still in the prime that he could have been entertaining us with his talents. So, for me, I feel terrible for the young man in that sense because he doesn't really get to have the completed career that a Hall of Fame-like career. Really. That's what this injury does is stop him really from getting in the Hall of Fame. So, he tweeted out to the Rams, past due, send me money. Apparently, the Rams, who cut Gurley on the third day of the league, are avoiding the $10.5 million in fully guaranteed obligations. The Rams already owe Gurley a fully guaranteed roster bonus of $7.55 million on the third day of the league year. So the Rams will be entitled to a partial offset based on Gurley's one-year deal with the Falcons if and when that deal becomes official. But that's money they'd get back from the Falcons later. The contract between Gurley and the Falcons still isn't official. The Rams still owe Gurley $7.55 million, and if that's the payment, Gurley is referring to. So in other words, $2.55 million, because he's getting $5 million from Atlanta. So that means the Rams are supposed to pay him $2.5 million. Now remember, the owner for the Rams is super rich, but he was too cheap to actually invest the money in St. Louis for the stadium. But then he moves to Los Angeles, has a very expensive piece of land there, and now is building his own stadium there, which is over $2 billion. And by the way, I think the costs are going up because of all the delays and all kinds of stuff. Anyway, but my point, it does remind me a lot of John Henry. John Henry wanted a full stadium here in Miami and wasn't really willing to spend the kind of money he needed to make it happen, but he was willing to go buy Nesson and the Red Sox. So he came up for the money for that, but not for Miami, but whatever. So same thing here, okay? This is an owner that wasn't willing to spend the money in St. Louis to keep the team there, but then when the Los Angeles market became available, then he was willing to go there and get the number one TV market and the money and all that stuff because he knows he's going to make money. And he ended up getting a tenant. So he's going to make even more money there. Whatever. It is what it is. So, but what I'm trying to tell you is they've got money. And they're not paying him. So, Todd Gurley tweets this out. Guess who ends up following up? Clay Matthews ends up chiming in. Clay Matthews is another guy. He goes, you and me both, TG. Better get some interest with that too. So Clay Matthews, no longer with the Rams.
Got released.
Apparently the Rams owe him money too, and they haven't paid him. So I don't know what's going on.
Speaking of Clay, buddy of mine in Chicago, we were talking blood, and he's like, man, what do you think about us getting Clay Matthews? And I was like, you know what, man? He actually had like 6-7 sacks last year. He actually had a pretty decent season. Seriously.
Yeah. But he's very injury prone now. Again, I have no proof on this. This is just my opinion. This is a steroid guy that has maximized his body. And like a lot of these steroid guys, he grew bigger than he's supposed to. He took on more than he's supposed to. And now his body has finally broken down because of what he's put his body through. And so he will try to, it reminds me of the dude from USC that got suspended a couple times with Houston, that he was kind of a little whacked out. I forgot the name of that linebacker, but they kind of remind me of the same thing. And I'm a Clay Matthews guy. I love Clay Matthews, but he kind of looks like, he kind of looks like those steroid guys that are worn down. That's all. And again, no proof. I'm not, unlike the guy from USC that did fail several tests and, was caught with it. I can't.
Clay's got a really good masking agent. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well, sometimes. No, he got busted a couple of times. So I guess the masking agent didn't work as well as he needed it to work. You know what I'm saying?
You know who should be paying part of Gurley's salary?
Who?
Jared Goff, bro. Okay, let's face it, man. That guy,
he
got $100 million for that. It was like, you did see what he did in the Super Bowl without a running back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams are like, hey, you know how much money we gave you? It's because of that guy there. Dude, cough up some cash, buddy.
Rachel, by the way, is saying someone should make a poll asking which QB coming out in 2020 is going to have the best NFL career. That's I think that's most people would pick Burrow, and then a couple of people are going to pick Tua, and that's probably where it'll end. Not a lot of people are going to pick Love or anybody else, or even Herbert. I just don't think that. I'll tell you, NFL people, as much as I like Mario Cristobal, that's, man, a lot. When I talk to NFL people about Herbert, that's the one thing they say, well, he was coached by an offensive line coach. They didn't really maximize that kid. That's a talk a lot in NFL circles. Like, there are people that feel that he could have been better if he had a really good and creative offensive coach, quarterbacks coach, those kind of things. They thought Cristobal's conservative approach hurt him in his development. Whether that's true or not, that's a whole different ball game out there. That I can't answer that. You can't answer that. We really don't know. But I will say this, whenever you watched Oregon, it wasn't like they were an aggressive, air it out type offense either. You know what I mean? So I could see where some NFL people think like that Cristobal was a detriment to the development of Justin Herbert.
I can't blame him. He wants to keep his job. He wants to win games. They won the Rose Bowl.
Hey, no, he had a great year and they won the Rose Bowl.
Exactly.
I agree. And you know what? Listen, in the end, Cristobal might have been right. Cristobal maybe saw the kid a lot during practice in the film room and all that, and he's like, I got to control this kid, or if not, he will lose games for us and get me fired. And in a way, Cristobal's in a prove-it type mode, too, because he took over, and he had to prove to people that he could be the guy, because a lot of people, when he took over there, said, this is not the best move. They could have made a better move. And so Cristobal was already, like, behind the eight ball. You know what I mean? So I could see that, but that's some of the talk around NFL circles. When I talk to people, they'll tell me, I like the kid, but I think sometimes when I question him, it's because I'm questioning the way Cristobal coached him. And I think he could have been better. So that's why there will be people that are going to take a chance on Herbert.
Oh, think about it, man. You see the kid in your locker room. You see he's immature. You know what I mean? You see that he, kind of not the lead, all the negative. Do you want to give this guy the keys to the castle? Let him be the guy that drives? You know what I mean?
No.
Based on what you see?
No.
Like,
no.
He doesn't have the if factor, so I'm not going to make you, put that much trust in you.
Yeah. That's one draft story that's out there that's floating around. Here, I'll give you another draft story that's kind of funny. People in the NFL, you know how you can't be in the facility. Everybody's got to be in their homes, right? So the Cowboys, there's talk that Steven and Jerry Jones will be together. And they really don't live together, but they're related. So there are people around the league that are complaining that Jerry and Steven are going to be together. And I got to say something. I don't really believe that people should actually be concerned about this. I'm going to flip it around for you, okay? I think it's a detriment to Stephen Jones having the old man there with him during the draft. I think that if you're another team around the NFL, if you notice, the Cowboys have been kicking ass with the draft over the last couple
All the
of years.
NFC East teams that play against them are like, no, let him hook up. Let him hook up.
So to me, that's where I would say, let Jerry be there, bro. He might convince Steven to take the wrong guy, like Johnny Manziel. They had to convince Jerry Jones not to take Johnny Manziel. You know? He wanted Paxton Lynch, and they had to convince him off of Paxton Lynch. I think that's the same year they took Dak Prescott in the 4th round. I mean, to me, having Jerry there for Steven is a detriment. I think it's better for Steven to be all alone at home making the decision. He can hang up on Jerry. He can mute Jerry, whatever. You got Jerry in the same room. You can't shut him up. You know what I mean? So to me, I think this is the best thing out there is that Jerry, NFL teams should be, let Jerry be there. No problem. Be fantastic.
You know, if it comes down to it, you know what Jerry's going to say.
What's he going to say?
Who owns the Cowboys?
Right. But I mean,
who writes the check?
Yeah, but he's not that way as much with his son. You know, his son has his son's the reason why they've drafted so well.
Exactly. Well, I'm just saying,
You know
if it came down to it,
to Jerry's credit,
Jerry would be even to his son. Hey, who is the Cowboys?
Yeah. No, it's true. But just to have, we're having fun with this, but just to, give a little credit, Stephen Jones has done an awesome job there, dude. He and his staff have been absolutely phenomenal.
He has done so well that they have a problem re-signing all the guys they drafted.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's a good problem
It's a great problem to have. Yes, it is. No doubt about that. Do you watch the hot dog eating contest? I can't watch it personally.
It's disgusting to see them dunk that into wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, if I was in Coney Island and I happen to be there that day, there's no way in the world that I'm getting on a subway to go to Coney Island just for that. I won't do that. But if I happen to be there in Coney Island hanging out and then that thing is going on, maybe I'll stop by and watch it for 2 minutes. Now, I never watch it on television. I have no interest watching that disgusting thing. But for you hot dog fans out there, there is some bad news. The greatest hot dog eating competition in the world is in danger of being canceled over the coronavirus. Joey Chestnut wants to put on a show anyways. The greatest eater of all time says he still hasn't been informed of the state of Nathan's famous hot dog eating contest yet, but he wouldn't be surprised if it gets the axe. However, just like LeBron, Tom Brady, and other GOATs, Chestnut says he's training like the champion he is. Listen to this. Last week, I did like 8 pounds of cucumbers. I feel like I'm ready when the contest starts. 8 pounds of cucumbers, bro. How do you eat 8 pounds of I can't
How do you eat 8 pounds of anything?
I can't eat half of a cucumber. Forget 8 pounds of a cucumber. Are you kidding me, dude? And you're right, 8 pounds of anything. What the hell, dude? How do you eat 8 pounds of anything whatsoever? I don't care how good it is. Oh. Anyway, so what do we do? Oh, yes. Kiss them for me, a little Susie and the Banshees.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
You know what? Look, you know what I'm doing if I'm at Coney Island? I'm looking for Wonder Wheel and where scenes of the Warriors was filmed.
There you go.
Okay.
You want to laugh? Yesterday I was on YouTube and I watched deleted scenes from the Warriors.
Oh, I've seen that. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
It's actually really cool.
Yeah, with the girls at the beginning, what's it called? Cochise's girlfriend.
Right.
Is there and worried about them going down to the Bronx. Yeah, I actually ran into that yesterday. I was doing all kinds of YouTubing out there. That was good. But, I mean, 8 pounds, dude. He goes, anyway, they reached out and they said that they're monitoring the situation, so no decision yet. So for those of you out there that actually like this crap, There's a slight hope. Something tells me it'll probably end up being canceled because, hey, that's kind of the way of the world right now, right? I mean, it is what it is.
You know, it's the most disgusting that these guys do, this eating competition crap. Mayonnaise. Like.
I saw a woman eat 4 pounds of mayonnaise.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was gross. That was gross. You know, they've got, you know that Zoom has become the app of choice right now for people using video conferencing, reporting, whatever it is they're doing. The Dolphins may be connected with Zoom and all that during the draft. You heard about all of that, right, Bill? Well,
a lot of the teachers, school stuff going.
Yes. Well, Zoom is actually being sued now for overstating and not disclosing privacy and security flaws. Zoom Video Communications, Inc. was slapped with a class action suit by one of its shareholders on Tuesday, accusing the video conferencing app of overstating its privacy standards and failing to disclose that its service was not an end-to-end encrypted. Shareholder Michael Drew claimed in court filings that a string of recent media reports highlighted the privacy flaws in Zoom's application and have led to the company's stock, which has rallied for several days in the beginning of the year, to plummet. The company's shares closed down about 7.5% at $113.75 on Tuesday. They have lost nearly a third of their market value since touching record highs in late March. Zoom Chief Executive Officer Eric Yuan last week apologized to users, saying the company has fallen short of community's privacy and security expectations and was taking steps to fix the issue. So be careful, all right? If I'm the Dolphins, I'm not using Zoom. I'm using your phones. That's what you do, bro. Chris Greer calls Reggie McKenzie or calls Marvin Allen or calls Brian Flores, and they talk to each other. And that's it, bro. Don't go on a map, on an app that everybody else is using that hackers can get into. They don't know your phone, so do that instead.
Listen, I've got to think, as big as the NFL is, as powerful as they are, as money, that they have some kind of an inner telecommunication system.
I don't know.
You know? I mean, I'm just saying.
I know, but
they're up there with
everybody's been using this Zoom crap.
Yeah, a lot.
I was on Zoom actually for a meeting with Inter Miami on Monday.
Okay.
We were using Zoom because we were talking about programming and stuff.
All right.
For the station, and so we're trying to set everything up, and so obviously we're doing everything by phone and
the first time I heard
kind of stuff. So they wanted to do a video conferencing. We were all on Zoom talking to each other.
First time I heard about Zoom was obviously listening to the radio on my way to do this, and they were talking about all the college students and stuff like that to be able to hang out with their friends, getting together and Zooming and watching TV together, watching movies together.
Right. Yes, exactly. That they're all watching a show, and then they're all on Zoom so they can react to the show. Instead of you sitting next to them in the couch, they're Zooming with you.
Exactly. And, I get it, but you're watching a movie. Do you really need to have somebody there with you? You can't watch it by yourself.
I'm going to go home and watch Zoom, the kids show. That's what I'm going to do.
Oh, you want to Zoom?
Zoom. Oh, where are you? Yes. Hialeah Bread says, will you ever do another show at Nova Southeastern University? Well, my brother, that was years ago when I was with 640 Sports, and they were tied to Nova University. That's a whole different ball game. Now, I could do something close to that area with another sponsor. Nova, I don't think, is a sponsor of our show. You know what I'm saying? So we're a different beast.
Last time I checked, no, it is not, sir.
Yeah, no, we're a different beast. DCope864 says, what's up, first time tuning in? Well, thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate all of you out there. Sad that you're tuning in towards the end of the show. Lots of stuff has gone on.
Hey, better late than never.
That's
and
true.
It's podcasted anyway.
That's right. Or you can just rewind on the video. And that's it. Drewbo says, riding around with my windows up. There you go. Joe Miller says, Rosen's pocket presence compared to Tannehill is night and day. Yep. True that. Beware, Flo. Belichick trying to get our big board. I like it. I like it. All right, folks. It is time to wrap it up here on the show. We thank all of you for tuning in, as always. We thank, of course, Steve Ostroff and all the great people out here at Toyota of Hollywood. We do want to remind you that the show is proudly brought to you by VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road. Go visit them for all your CBD needs. I'm telling you, flower, tinctures, edibles, they've got them all over there at VSS West Pines. Make sure you tell them that Big O sent you. They will take care of you. You can order, by the way, by phone. So if you need to order anything from a water bong to your e-cigarettes, e-juice, CBD needs, all of that, call them 954-613-3367. Call Jose and all the great people out there. Tell them that Big O sent you. Go to the website, vsswestpines.com, and tell them that Big O sent you. They will take care of you. All right, we thank all of you out there for tuning in. Nice crowd today. We really, really, really appreciate it. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing the link. All of that. Thank you for giving us the thumbs up. We love you all out there. Appreciate you. We'll see you tomorrow, and we'll be at Craig Zinn's Acura Pembroke Pines starting off at 11 a.m. Be good.
Y'all be safe.